I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at VinAndSori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinAndSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. How shall lead them?
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are
back.
We've returned. Hello,
have.
children. Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the big homie, BC. I'm going to call you the Big Chomi from now on. Instead of calling you the Big Homie BC, I'm going to call you the Big Chomi because Chomi starts with C and then Big starts with B, so Big Chomi. Big Chomi in this bitch. Lost Hate in this bitch. Metlcat in this bitch. Franco in this bitch.
Ooh, are we up on Rumble?
A lot of gangsters. A lot of gangsters in here. A lot of gangsters. Just leave that be. It's okay. All right, guys. We have a special... What are we going to call that? That's not a line. That's a collective. What is it? The something conspiracy or whatever?
This is the Untouchables. The
Untouchables
stream.
Dear listener.
This is Metlcat. You've got there's a little baby cat.
A little baby cat. Look at that.
The way that the picture was taken, the cat's top of the ear was gone. And as you can see, I'm not a badass Photoshopper. It looks a little bit different, but you know what? It's there. So we have... That's Leela, by the way. That's Metlcat's cat, who apparently is maybe a fan of metal. I don't know. All right. Up first is a song by the Hill Country Devil. The Rats Get Fat is the name of the song. Okay. We have the lyrics. You have the lyrics.
The Rats Get Fat.
Yep. And there's a picture of the homie also that is also in your downloads.
Of which homie?
This one. This guy. I'm the artist.
Okay, so what am I doing with that one? Am I supposed to do something with that guy?
The stream key just goes kind of in the corner, whatever, and then you usually put the other one. However you want to do it, but it's in your downloads. You're probably gonna have to open the whole folder.
What are we doing?
Move that cat to the bin, and then it will probably.
So we're not using the cat?
No. I'm in your downloads.
So we're using 2?
Yeah.
We usually do 2, but. What's up, Jet?
You can whatever you want.
Well,
that one is for this. Well, the difference is that's for the stream key. The stream key is the cat. And this picture, they didn't specify that it needs to go on the screen. Maybe they just wanted us to see it. So this is the homie that does the song.
Okay.
Title: The Rats Get Fat by the Hill Country Devil. Let's do this.
Hill Country Devil. I don't see that on there at all. Let me just do this thing.
There was a lot of stuff that I downloaded, so it's all there in order, too.
All right, guys, here we go. Hill Country Devil. The Rats Get Fat, I think is the name of the song. Let's do it.
So how did you guys meet?
We met because I met you. Invited me to come do a video with you in Nashville, and you put a show together, which was me, Spitshine, Uh-huh.
Why do you like Hayden?
He's real. It's not a show. He's not trying to be something that he's not.
Better men have died for less. Rats get fat no matter where you've been. San Antonio's a catacomb where sirens speak the tongue of broken men. They say your body is a credit card. Sell your ass, they're sure to get you well. And if they offer tainted points, bleach the ends at a crack upon your belt. And it wasn't all too long ago, crying out in a hospital gown, with a bandage torn off from the chest and an oath to stick the landing coming down. Oh, the boarding house was an easy out, but it don't help when the noise begins to tower. And every second is a minute, and every minute is another endless hour. So swing low, sweet northern winter, guide my weary bones. Don't let them bury me in San Antonio. Don't you bury me in San Antonio. Now pacing in an apartment, gifted clothes hang tattered, torn and loose. Now deeply green the grass must be as it calls beyond the window of a noose. Oh, but cowardice is baring teeth, a fit of shakes and wait before the sight. So I'll only kill a part of me, across to buy some shelter for the night. And now morning comes with vengeance, taunted by a light growing wild, bathing in the warmth she brings, a kick to shut down weeping like a child. So begin the false by clarity, to summon strength to labor through the fight. Just to thumb a stolen wallet and to stumble towards another endless night. So swing low, Mother Misery, let the shackles go. The gift of ease before I die alone. And I know I'll die alone. Better men have died for less, but the rats get fat no matter where you've been.
You guys play songs that seem to hit people a little harder than a lot of people's songs. What do you think makes a good song?
What I try to do when I write is perfectly convey a feeling that I think is pretty universal. Hopefully I do a good enough job that people can connect with something inside themselves that helps them through, and it helps me to write them. So.
What about you, Hayden? What makes a good song?
Authenticity, honest storytelling, or conveying emotions that you've actually felt. I think the songwriters and the people that are my heroes are the people that lived it. That's the only songs I know how to write or things I've experienced.
All right, you people, you guys can hear me now. Type 22 if you can hear us. That song was incredible. I actually need the title of that song.
The Rats Get Fat by the Hill Country Devil.
It's going right
On your
into
playlist?
my playlist.
Whoa, really?
Right into my playlist. My mom used to listen to this dude called Don Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was the style of music he played. Apparently this is like country.
Yeah.
This country sounds a whole lot different from the country I hear like on TV and the stuff you listen to in the car. Like this is something. I
literally haven't listened to any in the car for years.
That's not true. I mean, I've literally heard country songs come in
Which
the car
song?
when I turn it on.
Oh no, that's the country station. I don't even listen to that. I put my stuff on. I don't put that on. I don't know why that's on there. I don't listen to the country station.
We haven't had it in years in the car.
I haven't listened to it in years in the car.
Well, I didn't turn it to the country station, right?
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So, like, but this song.
But this you like.
It reminded me of Don Francisco because Don he used to do storytelling, and it was a Christian and it was some like real epic shit, and it was like storytelling, and obviously there's a lot of crazy stories in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible. But like, man, this one was crazy. I really enjoyed it. I liked the melody, the tone, all that shit. I don't know what technique you call that, where that kind of folky whatever sound and cadence, but yeah, I genuinely enjoy this song. Metlcat says, there's a certain type of country that I like, usually mixed with folk like this or with blues. Okay, good. That's exactly what I just said. I just said, like, I like the folky element of that. It's so... There's something dark about it, too. Like, the way that the dude was telling the story was something really dark and morose and melancholy about it, which I love.
Yep.
Better men have died for less. Rats get fat no matter where you've been.
Mm-hmm.
In San Antonio's a catacomb where sirens speak the tongue of broken men. Woo! That line is crazy. I never really understood like how crazy stuff was in New York until I came up to Maine. And like I was going by doing something and all of a sudden I heard like the sirens, whatever. And I thought to myself, I haven't heard a siren in like 2 months. In New York, I heard sirens literally every day. It was just part of the backdrop of the city. Like literally every day you would hear it and you'd hear pop, pop, pop. Downtown Avenue. Shout out to the Bronx. Just saw another documentary about where I used to live. Holy shit. Yeah, so that line right there, San Antonio's a catacomb where sirens speak the tongue of broken men. That's such a brilliant line because the guy is ODing. If he's ODing, the siren would speak the tongue of broken men.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, better men have died for less. Rats get fat no matter where you... It's kind of like... On the one hand, you have men dying, and then on the other side, you've got rats getting fat, rats prospering. So you've got humans dying on one side, and then you've got rats prospering on the other side. Mm-hmm. And then the second verse is that the city is a catacomb, which is essentially an underground cave system that the early Christians had to do because they were suffering immense persecution. And so they had to go underground, and you call that the catacombs. He's using this as more of a to double also as a gravesite almost. San Antonio's a catacomb where sinners speak the tongue of where sirens speak the tongue of broken men.
Yeah.
Then they say your body is a credit card. Sell your ass. They're sure to get you well. And if they offer tainted points, just bleach the ends and a crack upon your belt.
Crack up on your back. I don't understand what he's saying there.
Well, it looks that the first two seems to be what dudes do in the ghetto, which they OD on drugs maybe, or they're getting shot. And so you hear the sirens, and that's all the language that these men are speaking nowadays. And then the second one, I think, is for the women. They say your body is a credit card, sell your ass, they're sure to get you well. And if they offer tainted points, just bleach the ends and crack upon your belt. I think that right there is something relative to the split that a prostitute gets. Tainted points. And then bleaching the end would be, bleaching your hair, I'm assuming, to get it back to being bald. And a crack up. Well, they talk about the notch on your belt, like each person's a notch on your belt, and it's kind of a braggadocious thing. This is like the opposite. Like, you're the person that people get the notch on their belt for, basically, is what it looks like to me. It wasn't all too long ago, crying out in a hospital gown with a bandage torn off from the chest and out to stick the landing coming down. The boarding house was an easy out, but it don't help when the noise begins to tower, and every second is a minute, and every minute is another endless hour. That's really crazy, because I used to do the work in this like halfway house thingamajiggy. So dudes would like get jammed up by the police, and instead of them, sending them off to prison or whatever, they would call us, and like, maybe you guys can do your Jesus mumbo jumbo, and then maybe we can, don't have to worry about this guy breaking into his mom's house anymore. And so, like, we would set those things up, and them dudes, they would bring me in there, and I'd do Bible studies with them, all that type of stuff. But if you look, every second is a minute, every minute is another endless hour. When dudes are, like, coming down off of these drugs, and, your body has a chemical, psychosomatic dependency on these drugs now. And so time begins to really slow down for those people. Like, we had a dude in our church, and he had to detox before he went to the halfway house. And it's interesting to behold, although in that guy's situation it looked like he got some supernatural help
for sure. Yeah.
I
actually didn't know how serious that could get if God didn't intervene. Like, he could have died in my house. I didn't know that. I didn't know that when people were detoxing, it can get really, really bad. And, obviously we were keeping an eye on him, but I just had no idea. And then a couple of years later, we had, remember, we called him John the Baptist?
Yeah.
He was, like, trying to get clean for a minute, and I was in the hospital with him, and he was going through it, man. I was like, I don't even know if it's safe to be in this room with him right now. It was so bad. And that's when I realized how supernatural the other detox was with the other person, because he was literally coming off of all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they said they wouldn't take him until he was 3 days clean. So, wasn't that what it was? Like 3 days clean?
3 days, yeah.
Oh.
And shout out to the homie, man. He did it. He did what he's supposed to do. And then he got back home, and 2 or 3 years in, he went for another hit, and that was the last hit he ever took for the rest of his life. Shit's crazy.
And now his daughters don't have a dad. It's terrible.
A lot of that shit going around. Do swing low, sweet northern wind, to guard my weary bones. Don't let them bury me in San Antonio. Don't let them bury me in San Antonio. Like,
it sounds like it's like a really bad time over there. Also, I just wanted to say, when he said sell your body, they say your body is a credit card, sell your ass. I understand it's kind of more tainted toward, like, the female job. But at the same time, maybe as a musician, he kind of feels like that, because you have to sell yourself as a musician. And you, I don't know if he's talking about being a musician here, or if we're just talking about just life being hard over there.
It looks like, because he keeps bringing up San Antonio and not wanting to die there.
Yeah.
That's a really funny... I remember being in New York and be like, yo, I can't die here, man.
Oh, really?
It's like a big... yeah, like, I don't want to die here. It's weird, because it's like, well, where do you want to die, bro? Like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? It just... For me, it was just kind of like... I got to the point where New York, I'm like, man, I'm tired of this kind of lifestyle. Like, I hate it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to get out. Then I thought to myself, there's no way you're going to be able to get out of this thing alive. There's no way. Like, there's too much shit going on. So, that was kind of the mindset. I really thought we weren't gonna make it, but I just remember telling my friends all the time, like, yo, man, like, I don't want to die here, you know, like, I can't die here, man. And bless God I didn't, so that's cool. I mean, to my knowledge. So swing low, sweet northern wind. Usually that's a Negro spiritual. It's swing low, sweet chariot.
Yeah.
Coming to guide me home or something like that. Now pacing an apartment, gifted clothes.
Well, he started out with saying, and it wasn't all too long ago, crying out in a hospital gown with a bandage torn off from the chest and out to stick the landing coming down.
You know, stick the landing when you you do those flips in the Olympic and then you hit it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sticking the landing.
So with a bandage torn off from the chest and an out to stick the landing, what's that mean?
Well, he's checking himself AMA against medical advice. It looks like he OD'd or something and he ended up in the hospital somewhere. Where's this at?
Right here, and it wasn't all too long right here.
Yeah, cried out in a hospital gown with a bandage torn off from the chest and out to stick the landing coming down. So, like, he's coming off of his high. And so he's like, because in the hospital system, they can do what's called a blue paper. That's what they call it up here in Maine. I don't know what they call it elsewhere. But they'll blue paper you in the sense that you can't leave. Like, but they can't do it forever. So it's usually like, I think it's 72 hours or something like that. So it looks to me like this guy is... He's in a hospital gown and then he's coming down sticking the landing, meaning once the effects of the drug started to wear off, he stuck the landing, meaning he's communicating as if like everything's fine, as if he's not, because the chemicals are out of his system now, so now he can go back to convincing all the orderlies that he's in good shape when he's really not. That's what it looks like to me.
Then he says the boarding house was an easy out, but it don't help when the noise begins to tower. So was that like he decided to go to a boarding house, but then it's like really noisy because there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And every second is a minute, and every minute is another endless hour.
Yeah.
So from there he gets to an apartment. Now pacing an apartment, gifted clothes hang tattered, torn, and loose. How deeply green the grass must be as it calls beyond the window of a noose. Holy shit! So the grass is always greener on the other side,
right.
And he's saying suicide would be better than this.
Right.
And now cowardice is,
which is, you know, where that mentality leads to. The grass being greener on the other side. People say grass is always greener on the other side, but that's a trick in human psychology that we play on ourselves so that we can avoid the fact that most of us are bored with our lives. So it's like, oh, I'm going to create this whole thing. Michael Jordan did this. Like, he dropped like 55 or something on this guy, and everybody's like, yo, why did you do that? And he said, well, because he was talking all this shit before the game, so I had to show him something. And they went to him and they're like, yo, how could you do that to Michael Jordan? Why would you talk all that shit to him? The dude was like, I have no idea what y'all are talking about. Like, I kept my distance from dude. I don't know what y'all are talking about. He literally made that up to give him the motivation to go play with these dudes because he had mastered the sport. And I think like the grass being greener, having these goals and dreams of aspirations, I think a lot of those are just to distract from the fact that most of us are really, really bored with our lives and we don't really see a lot of value in what the hell we're doing. But like,
I mean, I feel like it could be two things. I think, yeah, it could be boredom. I also think it could be too much chaos. And, you know, you look over there and you're like, oh, they look happy. That looks happy. That looks like a good situation. Like that sort of thing. Or in this guy's situation, I mean, if he's saying bored, you're saying he's so bored he wants to kill himself. I think that his life is so chaotic in this situation.
I also said
wants
like insignificant things of that nature. I don't really see like the chaos in there.
Well, what he's describing, he's talking about going in and out of a hospital. Now he's talking about being in a noisy halfway house. Then he's talking about being in an apartment with clothes that don't fit him because they've been donated to him. It doesn't sound like this guy is suffering from boredom. It just sounds like this guy has there's not enough.
I didn't just say bored. It was boring and insignificant. You're not doing anything really important with your life, is what I was saying.
I see.
The process that you're describing is normal to these dudes. They've been institutionalized from the beginning. Like, that's just normal to them. That's not something, they would not look at that as chaotic. As a matter of fact, a lot of times they look at that, they love being in those situations because there's rules. There's a curfew, there's this, there's that, and it gives them a whole bunch of structure. So it's actually the opposite for those guys. When they get sit out into the street, that's when they get scared and anxious because there are no rules out there. There's nobody to tell you have to go to bed at this time, you got to take your meds at this time, you're out there by yourself. So a lot of those guys, when they're institutionalized, don't do well with freedom because they need the structure. That's why they keep going back to prison. Like there's a very famous prison movie, and it was, the guy was out there trying to escape, obviously, and one of the characters, when he escaped, promptly went to his apartment and blew himself away because he was institutionalized all of his life.
He
and now,
escaped?
Yeah, dude escaped prison. And the first thing, he went to his house and he blew himself away because he had been institutionalized, and now he's living in an apartment with no rules and all the rest of it. That was it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a crazy
That was a
story.
movie?
Yeah, it was a
Or
movie.
was it a real story?
It was a quote based on a true story.
Oh my gosh.
But I saw that, in the hood, like there was a lot of times. That's why my best friend, like me and him got along so well, because he was like the only one that like had a vision beyond where we were. At the time, everybody, like, all we could see is New York, and it's New York. It's very easy to be like, yo, New York. It's not
Did
like
he
Nebraska.
leave New York now?
Nah, he's still in there. But his mentality was different. Like, we were not, and that's why I was able to get away with like not being in a gang and shit, because he was kind of with me, because he could get busy on his own, so we didn't need to be in a gang. But yeah, man, people get institutionalized by that stuff. It's very difficult for them. Now morning comes with vengeance, taunted by the light now growing wild, bathing in the warmth she brings, a kick to shut down, weeping like a child. So begin the false bark clarity, the summoned strength to labor through the fight, just to thumb a stolen wallet and to stumble towards another endless night.
Oh my gosh.
That to me is him relapsing. And then it says, better men have died for less. The rats get fat no matter where you've been. It looks to me like that was it for him. Like he relapsed and that was the end of him, and probably died in front of his steps. So the, cops go and collect him and call his family.
Jeez, the gift of ease before I die alone. And I know I will die alone. Jeez.
Yeah, he did. Died alone, for sure. Yeah, that shit is crazy. I love the song. It's a really, really good song. It's a silent count for me, for my own reasons, but I'm definitely gonna, this is one of my jams for sure.
Well, I'm always a country fan. Well, not always, but I do.
You haven't listened to it in years?
When is the last time I shared a country song with you?
Go ahead and say what you say.
Has it been years?
Is it?
It has been. So I enjoyed it for the country elements to it. The song itself, it's a sad song, but country kind of does that. It ends up having like sort of a lot of sad songs to it. I appreciated the honesty of what he was saying. I'd probably give this one a 9.5. 9.4, 9.5. 9.4.5.
There you go, dear listener. There you go. We have just begun. If you're on the Rumble side, like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're on the Twitter side, like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're on the YouTube side, like, share, comment, subscribe. We've got this band. We've got Baby Metal. We've got the Warning. You guys, you know what it is. We'll see you
Wayfarer up next. We'll be right back.
Boom. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at VinAndSori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinAndSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are in the midst of a Untouchables stream, dear listener.
False
Untouchables
Constellation
stream.
by Wayfarer is our next song. This is, I did announce that it was Metlcat, the last one.
Yeah.
This one is also from Metlcat. And keep in mind, this stream is the Untouchables stream. That's all we have to say. All we have are lyrics. So let's check it out.
Did we timestamp that one?
Yep, I already did.
All right, boys and girls, here we go. The next song is Wayfarer. What do you call it? False Constellation?
False Constellation.
I want to hear this.
And that is...
Here we go.
All your lyrics are sent to you in text.
Why did you have to do that? Why did you have to go and do that, Mr. Wayfarer? Why did you have to do that? False Constellation, MP4, Subhanallah. Did it again. Third time's a charm.
Let's... I've never
crazy.
either. I
It's
have
a
not
crazy
either.
piano sound.
Yep.
Okay. That was, what was the name of that band
Ooh,
again?
boy. False Constellation by Wayfarer.
By Wayfarer, False Constellation.
Isn't that the furniture place?
Yeah.
Wayfarer?
The black metal vocal part, I really didn't like it. I wish they would have just stayed with somebody called it like a black metal Depeche Mode.
Uh-huh.
I wish they would have stayed with the Depeche Mode 90s sound a little bit more than the black metal sound. I wasn't really with the black metal vocals on this particular song.
Did they keep them the entire time?
Nah, he just did it in the second verse, I think.
Oh, shit. I must have missed that. I didn't even...
Yeah, it just didn't really resonate with me, that part.
I was deep in these lyrics. These lyrics are interesting.
Yeah, go. It looks like you were captivated a bit.
Yeah, as the ages pass us by, they find us reaching for a light in endless night. Left to question who we are and if we'll ever find a place in this life. Yeah, how much do I want to say? I think that I don't know. I kind of think that we all sort of have that experience in a way where, you know, we're left to question who we are and if we'll ever find a place in this life. Because it's hard to find a spot, like a crew or a reason, especially like, you know, obviously we're Christians, so a lot of our meaning comes from our belief and our faith in God. But that doesn't mean like it, you know, for me anyway, I don't know about for you, it doesn't mean that it takes away all question where you feel like you completely belong. In fact, sometimes it makes you feel like you belong less because you have an understanding that you've come from like somewhere else and you're going somewhere else too. He says the mask is gone 300 years, a tale untold, they hide their fear. Really, the part that stuck out to me was when he said, you've got a shadow on your grave, a false constellation that you have made. You've got a shadow on your grave, the bells of time ring out your name. So to me, the shadow on the grave was like the Grim Reaper type situation, like death was coming to this person. And when it said a false constellation that you made, that was big to me because, well, obviously, you know, constellations, people feel like they're guided by the stars and stuff. And it's saying a false constellation that you made. So it's like this person created something to believe in, something to look to be like, oh, this is where it is. This is where we're, you know, whatever. But it was false. And then you still have a shadow on your grave and it says the bells of time ring out your name. So it sounds like this person is at the end, whether or not they're at the actual end or if it's that they believe themselves to be at the end, or I mean, it does kind of sound like they're at the end. A grave, a nation. So what is it that is left? What is it that we built? A monument to an idea washed away? It just kind of seems like the person is like disillusioned and tired. A beaten, tattered flag raised in honor of a dream, a memory of what had never come to pass. Yeah, it just seems like there was a lot of hope, a lot of dreams for what it was going to be, and that it just never came to fruition. And it's a pretty discouraging place for this person to be in. So again, I don't know if like it's literally their end or if they are perceiving it to be that way because, you know, hope deferred makes the heart sick, or hope lost makes the heart sick. So I don't know if it was like one of those situations. But either way, the you know, they literally end it that way. You've got a shadow on your grave, a false constellation that you made. The bells of time ring out your name. You've got a shadow on your grave.
Yeah, and then it ends the song by saying a grave, a nation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the shadow on the grave is really a way of saying a shadow over your country, because your whole country is going to become a grave. See what I'm saying? Because
it said 300 years. What do you think? What do you make of that? In relation to the I thought that was in relation to the nation. But carry on.
Well, no, I'm saying that the grave and the nation are the same thing. Because he says at the very last line of the song, he's a grave, a nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's talking about two separate things there. I think he's talking about the same thing. And that's why it says you've got a shadow on your grave, a false consolation that you made. Because the grave is the nation, I think.
Okay.
And then the constellations, I do believe that the interpretation is right in, you know, the stars and all that. But we call our leaders stars. So, like in football, you're a football star. Obama was called a rock star a lot, that type of thing. So it's the false constellations that you made. So if the theory is right that the grave and the nation are interchangeable terms, then it's basically saying you guys are a nation of walking dead people, and it's because of your leaders that you had a part in making in the first place because you live in a democracy.
Oh.
I remember this.
So you think they're saying like the nation is gonna end?
Yeah, I think the nation as they know it is gonna end. I think.
Oh, okay. But you don't think they're necessarily talking about America?
I do think. Well, I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna talk about America because I'm an American.
What would be interesting is when it says a false constellation that you have made, if you think about the flag and how it's got all the stars on it.
Right.
And that was like the united, like that.
Right.
That meant that we were all united because there's 50 stars in there, right?
Yeah, and then we had the Civil War, and it was no longer these your United States. I saw it in the History Channel one time, and that really struck me when the guy was saying that. Like before, when they would write addresses to everybody, they'd say these your United States or whatever, and then after Gettysburg, it was like, all right, the United States of America. It became like depersonalized because there were so many wounds because of the Civil War.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I do think that the constellation is also an allusion to that you made. We made this country, all of us did, and you can become very disillusionized. You can be disillusioned with everything because, you know, we're not improving right now. I always took this as a death of the American dream. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things can work here.
Yeah.
If I remember right, this is about the end of the era of the Old West. There we go. And the beginning of the age of the oil barons and the kind of death of the American dream in that era. Yeah. You know, like I'm looking at this AI stuff, and it was very fascinating to me, this AI stuff, because I was like, wow. I was watching Kendrick Lamar and Drake sitting side by side, and they were talking about their beef and all the rest of it, and it was like crazy. I'm like, yo,
wait, this is recent?
Yeah, I saw this video last night. They were both sitting on a beach, and they were like talking to each other back and forth
wait,
about
AI created this?
the whole thing was AI. It wasn't real at all.
Oh shit. Okay. What
But
happened?
it looked exactly. It was Drake was like, "You're not understanding me," and Kendrick was like, "Well, you know, blah blah blah. You're not really like." It was a back and forth, and I don't know much about Drake, so I don't know if his expressions were.
Yeah, if they were accurate.
But I couldn't tell. Like I was scrolling down because I was so confused, and people were like, "Yo, this AI stuff is crazy right now."
So you couldn't tell visually looking at it that you were looking at something AI. Oh shit.
Not at all. So it's like, it's interesting because our generation, we experienced childhood without the internet, but then adolescence into adulthood, we had the internet, and so we've been able to function in both worlds. But our kids only are able to function in an internet. Like if the internet were to shut down for whatever reason, their lives would stop. They don't know how to function without the internet. We do. So
yeah, but you know what's also weird about them is that, like, I'll notice if there's something that they're interested in, they know exactly. They go right to the internet and look up the answer. But if there's something that would benefit them to look it up, like for instance, one of our kids right now, their bike is broke, and I'm like, did you look at a YouTube video? I mean, because the chain is broke off it. Like, I mean, surely you could fix. Can you imagine us being that age and having the YouTube channel, like the YouTube channel? I sound like a friggin', you know what I'm saying? Like you have access to that, like, and you can watch a video and
that's crazy to me.
But they a lot of times don't like think to utilize that for like everything. They use it for when they want to like gain information about something, but not for like real practical stuff. Like, man, I would have been crazy if we would have had that. I'd have gotten into a lot of trouble though. I know that for sure.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, the whole American dream thing, like, I never really understood what the American dream was. Like, was the house, the picket fence, the 2.5 kids, whatever. I never, because, like, when I first came to this country,
What is it, the possibility of a simpler life, but not, like, without so much struggle?
Yeah, I think it's just supposed to be, like, you can, you know, work at a leisurely pace and not have struggle and have your little piece of the pie and happiness and all the rest of it.
A little family.
I think for the most part, like, you can achieve that. The problem is like people have to work 2 or 3 jobs now to achieve that. So it's like But imagine being part of that older generation where, like Hillary ran into some of this, where that's where the whole learn to code thing showed up, because Hillary's like, we're going to put an end to coal and blah, 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 blah. And like, I get it, the climate change thing. Like, I'm more on the side of the liberals relative to the climate change discussion. But it was such a tone-deaf message. Like, you go into coal country and say, we're going to destroy coal, we're going to end that industry. And then people are like, well, then what the fuck are we supposed to do? And that's when the answer was, well, learn the code. What? That's the solution? Learn the code? So,
that's so
it's very terrifying to look at this stuff if you don't have a familiarity with the technology and the requisite systems of technology. Like, you're in a lot of trouble, man. You're in a lot of trouble, because like these things can replace you. And the thing is like, the AI is never going to take me to HR. The AI is never going to get pregnant. The AI is never going to get arrested. You know, like, there's so many things that these these companies, these corporations, there's so many things they're going to be able to have these things do, that it really kind of like reorients the workforce. What are we supposed to do with that? Hey, Vin, are you going to talk about Trump in Middle America? Yes, I am going to talk. I think I already shot a Middle America thingamajiggy on there. You can check it out, but we continue.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I think it could be. Yeah, it does. I mean, it does specifically say a nation. I do think that there's something significant about the 300 years. The mask has gone 300 years, a tale untold. They hide their fear. I don't know what the 300 years is, but I'm sure there's something significant with that.
Well, I mean, 1776, right? To 2006, would that be 300 years?
76?
1776.
86, 96, 106. That would be 30 years. We're talking 300.
Right. So, right. How many years is 1776 to 1976? That would be 200 years, right?
So are we looking for 300 years from today?
No, I'm looking at 300 years from 1776, because the nation began in 1776, right?
1776 plus 300.
That would be 2076, wouldn't it?
2076, yeah.
So America is that young? That can't be right. We're only 200 years. That's crazy. And we're wrecking shop like this? Okay. Well, maybe what he's saying, by 2076, the mask will come off and we will no longer be the superpower in the world.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it could be that. Yep.
A tale untold. They hid their fear. The tale that they didn't tell was that the entire system was very creaky and unreliable from the beginning. And that's why I was watching, I think it's David Wolf is his name. He's a communist or a socialist or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, if capitalism is so good, then why do you always have to get bailed out every 5-10 years by socialism? I thought that was a really, really powerful argument. I was like, damn, that's a good argument. And I still to this moment haven't heard a very good response to it. So for example, you had the Great Depression, mm-hmm. and then, you had Social Security and all these other things. So you have these social programs, these social safety nets, and you're not doing it because you care about your neighbor per se, but you're doing it because if your neighbor has something to lose, then he's less likely to rob you. Mm-hmm. Right? So
yeah, true.
Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered is what they say. So you have to think about that stuff.
Yeah, I think that capitalism could work if we still have a slave class and we make AI that slave class. That might work.
I agree. I totally agree with that. There's no economic system that I think is inherently evil. I understand that a lot of my libertarian friends are like, taxation is theft. But as a Christian, the Bible says pay your taxes. It never says anything about taxation being theft. So I'm just going to go along with that.
Actually, it says the opposite.
Right.
Because when they came up to Jesus and they said, hey, how come you haven't paid your taxes? He didn't say get out of here. He basically said, go pull that fish out of the water. And they did. And they said, open up the mouth of the fish. And in it was a coin. And the coin had Caesar's face on it. And he said, give to Caesar what's Caesar's and give to God what is God's, which was pretty giant thing because we're made in the image and likeness of God. So he was basically saying, look, give Caesar his money, but maintain the fact that you're made in the image and likeness of God and offer yourselves a living sacrifice to God, which is crazy. Yep, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that verse.
Yeah, and I just think that, like, anytime you go through some sort of economic hardship, you end up going in these places where you start looking at yourself and you start being like, yo, this was all a lie. Just because the American dream didn't quote unquote work out for you doesn't mean that it's never going to work for anybody. But at the same time, like, it's tough for folks out there. And like, that's one of the things about the election, that everything's about personalities right now. You got a lot of Americans being like, yo, what is going on? Because you got so many people confused. It's like, okay, I can't live the American dream because I have this and this and this problem. And my government can't help me because A, socialism, and B, they're taking care of the Ukrainians, or they're taking care of the Israelis now. And so American citizens are like completely confused. And what are you supposed to say? Because the media, especially Ukraine, it was like you were a horrible person if you were like, why are you sending billions to Ukraine? Like, I was the first one, like, yo, I don't want to send these people billions of dollars. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and those are the ways that the American dream can get taken from you.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that it's crazy. Okay, if you say, all right, we can't do universal health care for everybody, it's just going to be too expensive, which I think is crazy. I think we should have that. But don't you think that at minimum there should be mental health care for our citizens? Like, just think on a practical level. Like, how many Americans die because we don't have mental health help for people?
Well, that active shooter guy.
Yeah.
That did all that shit in Maine when we were.
They sent him. They sent him out.
Yeah, they sent him out, and the guy was a weapons sergeant, and he said he heard voices.
He was saying crazy stuff. Yeah.
Tell him to kill folks. So it's like.
And he went to the right place, but then they sent him away.
That's
what I'm saying. Like, we would need like universal mental health, but I also think that it has to be like some of these bullshit ways that we deal with people has to go. Like, I think stuff needs to be taken seriously. We should stop guinea pigging people and just trying out different medications to see, you know, like, if you have to, you're down to the last resort, okay. But I think that there's a lot of, like, you're like, wait a minute, you take that for what? You take that for,
yeah.
You're trying not to get pregnant, you're taking that, you give that over there to a pedophile, you give that, like, there's all these weird, you know what I mean? Like, why are all these drugs, oh, that's for depression over there, but it's the same drug being used all over the place. It's just.
That is true.
It's weird. It's really weird.
My, one of the few times I went to the doctor, whatever the person was, like, she gave me a lot of strange recommendations, but she was like, this and this does this and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like.
Okay.
Because there were, like, a lot of the, like, commercial medicines or whatever that hit it big or whatever come as a mistake. It's like,
yeah,
we gave this to you and then it had this side effect.
Yeah.
And then it was like, whoa, wait a second, what's the side effect? And then they started, so originally it was for this, you know, maintaining your heart or whatever, but now it's, you know, now I'm going to sell it for this. Like, so, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, but I want everything on the table too. I want, you know, because, for instance, there was this lady that I was talking to, her husband had cancer, and there was no saving it. Like, he was on his way out, and he was smoking weed on the regular. Like, this was like friggin' years ago. You remember that lady? Yeah. So anyway, her husband was smoking weed on the regular, and I was like, does that seem to help him? And she said that it really reduced a lot of the pain that he had, and it also like I think calmed his anxieties about the situation that he was in. And I'm like, yeah, like, the only option that the doctor is going to give you is like, oops, my he's not doing good. He's like really coming. I just talked to my mom yesterday, and he's just doing worse and worse. And he's on the final stages of what they can do for him and how long he has left. But
Is
it's
he in
like
hospice?
he's not in hospice because he has. I mean, there's so many medical people in our family, like. Literally all of them have been trained to do that sort of stuff at the house. So he has a lot of help in that regard. But I don't think that he's even, like, if he didn't have that help, I'm not sure if he would be at the hospice point or not. But he's definitely getting, like, he's in the last phase of the last phase. And it's like, we've, like, just demonized. Like, I'm thinking of myself, he would never smoke some weed.
but like, especially like end of life, like, because he's like, oh no, you're gonna go meet your maker after this, like, and you know, but it's like, I just think that all of that stuff should be on the table in a medical standpoint, instead of there being like, okay, I don't think that the hospitals should be working with the pharmaceutical companies in a money-making way. That's just crazy. Like I don't think that there should be private prisons. I don't think that people should be making money off prisoners, because I think people make decisions when they're making, you know, money off of people like that. I just think that stuff would have to, you know, alter and change in that regard. But anyway, yeah. So I definitely think that's something that we should have, and I think that it would help our country as a whole. And, you know, maybe the American dream wouldn't be such a terror if we took care of our citizens instead of sending money over to kill other people in other places. We kept the money here to make well our citizens, and then maybe our citizens would make different decisions for the world if we weren't in a mental health crisis.
Well, that's the last thing I'll say. Is like anytime there's an active shooter, especially if he's a white male active shooter, it's a mental health issue.
Oh,
the Republicans, you know, the leftists say it's a gun issue. Get rid of the guns.
Yeah.
The right wingers say no, that has nothing to do with it. It's the mental health. Like it's that those people having guns. And then it's like, okay, so then you say, all right, let's at least, if you don't want to expand universal health care, at least let us have universal mental health care, because you're saying that's the cause of active shooters. And so, okay, you get to keep your Second Amendment, right? And then you take the money you sent to Ukraine and then you put it into helping American citizens.
Yeah.
Problem solved. We love you forever.
Yeah.
But our government is not going to do that, because the more worried you are about your finances, the less likely you are to protest, especially when they put your job on the line. What'd you give it?
9.1.
I'm going to give this one a solid 9.2. 9.2, dear listener. Don't go any freaking where. We got a commercial break.
The warning is up next.
The warning is up next. I know you guys know who they are. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. See you on the other side, bitches. Let's go. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at VinAndSori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinAndSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Tell us how to lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Just as a little thing. XBM, I see, he says, as a Christian, I have those self-conversations of balancing mushroom and how they are certain sicknesses. And how they help certain sicknesses with the spiritual aspects of the drug. With those, I personally think there are certain drugs that open you up to spiritual realms that you just shouldn't necessarily be a part of. I'm not saying that everybody's going to have those experiences, but I do think that that can happen, and I think that people should be very careful with what they're doing, because that can get a little hectic. Anyway,
let's do 107 as a timestamp.
107.
All right, song numero tres.
Okay,
so,
we have the warning. By the warning. That's it. We just have the lyrics, so let's check it out.
This is not an official video, is it?
I do not know.
All right, we'll find out. We'll find out midstream, dear listener. Never you worry.
He did say, you know, you might want to shut down YouTube, so it probably is.
All right. Is probably is. Can you just check to see the copy of the?
Well, it's the one from his channel. I'll put it up for you so you can see. See. So I don't know how to check it. It looks like, you know.
That's definitely an official video. All right. So what? Okay.
Because we have this, then we have the documentary. Oh, he says it's not official.
All right, here we go. It's not official. Let's see. This is Warning. Ugh is the name of the song. Let's do it.
Choking on words I do okay.
shout out to these freaking girls in the warning.
Unbelievable.
Most powerful voices right now in
Voice
music.
is incredible.
In music, not in metal. In music. That is just
high compliment.
That's some like Celine Dion shit. Like, you know, I used to make fun of Celine Dion. I still do, but like, man, like if you ever see that woman sing live, like her voice is so powerful. It's incredible. I don't know why they did it like that. I made her sing that "My Heart Will Go On" shit. I mean, it's like one of the biggest songs of all time, but I just thought it was a trash song. I didn't like it very much.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. Probably because, you know, I had Jay-Z and Biggie as my role models, so.
Oh.
You know, it doesn't really, not really conducive to that kind of romance.
I see.
All right, what do you got here? This is part of their concept record, right? Queen of the Murder Scene or something like that. Remember, she had like, I don't know if it was a stalker song or something like that, but it was some song where she was doing like some killing shit, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So you didn't get that when I said 107.
I did.
So what is he talking about?
Well, I type it, but if I don't hit save, then it doesn't show up.
Oh, all right.
But it's there.
Yeah, okay.
I just gotta.
Well, I mean, yeah, he doesn't need to see it then if it's there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
So, okay. Well, so just wait on
go
the
ahead.
title in there.
Oh, you don't have to wait for anything. You know, if you put it in there, you put it in there. It doesn't matter what it says. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just make sure you have it in there.
Yeah, it's in there. I just have to hit the save button.
So this song comes right after Crimson Queen, which I think we did, right? And that's when she killed the dude or whatever, I think. And then I think this song is maybe the response to it, or you know, I don't know if it's a justification or whatnot, but too many reasons caving in, choking on words that you won't give. Now I'm trapped within, slowly sinking in, waves of never-ending terror stay forever. I'm afraid to see what's become of me. The rope I'm walking on gets tighter. Cross the fire. Oh, save me because I'm falling down. Oh, we are so far from the ground. I don't want to understand. I just want to hold your hand.
So she's using a tight walker, you know, like one of those people that walks across the rope.
What, the tightrope thing?
Yeah, metaphor.
Yep.
The rope I'm walking on gets tighter. I would assume that makes it better, but I guess maybe not. I don't know. Save me, I'm falling down, falling to the ground. I don't want to understand. I just want to hold your hand. I don't know. To be honest with you, it completely threw me off that this is part of that concept album, because there was like the murder situation and all that. I just thought she was talking about like.
I mean, obviously she's working out something in this concept record, whether she killed someone or not, whether, you know.
Yeah.
Like, she's working something out in an alter ego fashion.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Become obsessed with what's destroyed, break all the walls to fill the void. So it sounds like, yeah, she's gone through something, choking on words that you won't give. That was an interesting line. It kind of like makes you think about like relationships, and that could be any type of relationship really, when, you know, somebody needs to hear a certain thing from somebody but the other person won't say it, but maybe they won't say it because it's not true, or they don't feel what the person wants them to. Choking on words that you won't give. Who do you think is doing the choking? The person that wants to hear the words, or the one that won't give the words?
I think, yeah. I mean, it could go in both directions. Yeah. That's interesting. It's one of those pictures. Like, is it this one? Is it that one? Yeah, it could go in both directions. You know, you would think that. I think there's some people that grow up used to certain kind of attention, and when they don't get it, it's kind of like I don't want to say traumatic because everybody uses the word trauma. It's just if you're used to being the person that gets all this attention and people use a lot of words of affirmation to you, when you get into a context where that doesn't happen, it can kind of be a big culture shock type of thing.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
So like here, she's trapped within, slowly within waves of never-ending terror. And then she says, stay forever. Which is an interesting line because stay forever can mean voluntarily, or it can mean you're dead or I'm stalking you and now you're tied up in this place and so you're going to stay here forever type of deal. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or she says, I'm trapped within. So it sounds like she's trapped inside of herself, slowly sinking in. So it seems like she's just getting deeper into herself. Waves of never-ending terror. Because when you kind of fold into yourself like that, like a lot of times people talk about fear and how fear starts taking over their lives. Then she says, stay forever. And that could be her talking to the version of herself that's kind of trapped within herself. And then she says, I'm afraid to see what's become of me. That's that, like, not looking at who you are or what you've become. Like, if this is connected to the murder, like, maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe it's like, you know, you killed somebody, like in the concept album. Right? Isn't that what happened? There was somebody stalking? Or
yeah, I feel like there was some stalker, obsessive shit going on.
Yeah.
Like, Lost Hate's like, don't think about the murder. I'm like, I don't know, bro. It's a concept album. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's talking about, like, obsession or whatever.
Yeah. But it could just be, like we were saying before, where she's, you know, she's trapped within herself, and she's sinking, and she doesn't really see a way out. But then she says, save me. She says, save me. And then she says, I just want to hold your hand. Like, it seems like she wants somebody to help her, somebody to save her, somebody to kind of maybe pull her out of herself. And she says, the sadness tastes like yesterday. That line was hard. That was a good line, I thought, because when she says sadness tastes like yesterday, she's not saying yesterday was sad. She's saying sadness tastes like yesterday. So what she's saying is there's been a lot of sadness because there's a lot of yesterdays. And yesterdays have been so sad for so long that now sadness tastes like yesterday. Like, the concept of yesterday has become something different and something new to her, which is, it's sad. It's all just sad. And she says, and time won't take the pain away, which is this is a concept that, you know, you and I have talked about a bunch of times, because time doesn't change anything. Time doesn't heal wounds. Time doesn't, I used to think that, you know, my father used to say, because he lost his dad when he was 24 years old, and then he lost his big brother when his brother was 39, I think. So it was difficult for him, and he would say, well, you know, it takes a year. The first of everything in that next year is really, really difficult. But now that I'm older, now I realize that, like, yeah, I'm sure he had a really hard year, but I think that at some point he just didn't keep showing us how difficult that it was for him, because I think that it continued to be hard for him. And then the concept of, like, it isn't time. Like, time doesn't do anything. It's the intention that you place within time and space that actually, you know, makes changes or makes differences on stuff. But when she's talking about time isn't going to heal, I don't know. She said time won't take away the pain. I don't know what pain she's talking about, so it makes it a little bit hard to tell. You know what I'm saying? But
become obsessed with what's destroyed. That's
another good line.
That's
break the walls to fill the void.
There's a lot of that actually going on. Like, and I kind of feel that way. You know, we've talked about this in human relationships, where it's like there's certain human relationships that on this side of heaven they're just destroyed, and I don't feel the need to anoint somebody the good guy, the bad guy, the victim, the perpetrator in any of those situations. To me, I just think, like, these things happen, man. It's just human nature. You get sinners together. They might genuinely love each other, but there are going to be times when those relationships get destroyed. And so, like, I'm talking to Shorty, like, she's like, I'm like, you know what? Like, I was like, you know, let me be, like, diplomatic as possible. So I was like, yo, like, just don't include me in any of these communications, man. Like, just leave me out of it. You feel me? Like, just let it go. And she kept pushing and pushing and pushing until I finally, you know, gave is my real explanation for why I didn't want to be part of those discussions. You know what I'm saying? But the big principle for me is like, if the relationship has like crossed that line, and all of us know what our line is, everybody knows we all know what our personal boundary is, where we're like, yo, you do that, like, over with. And she did it. So it was over with. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's to me, like, the effort to try to reestablish these relationships that have like these serious fractures in them it's a form of obsessing about something that's broken or destroyed. Like, this person wants a certain kind of relationship with me that they had before, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's not possible. Mm-hmm. Like, it's impossible. Like, I'm a different person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it goes. So, like, to me, it's not really that big of a deal to say, okay, like, that thing is destroyed. Like, okay, we'll just move on. Like, you know, that to me is, and to me, it's the most healthy way to go. Because then you could look at it, you could say, there doesn't need to be somebody to blame in those situations. People grow apart. It's very complex, this dance between, you know, what we're trying to accomplish, you know. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the other thing was when it said became obsessed with what's destroyed, break all the walls to fill the void. That made me think of, like, when I don't necessarily think, maybe, I'm not sure if she was talking about this, but what I thought of when it was the constant focus on your failures, and where everything has gone wrong. Because if you have your eyes on everything that you've, like, all the shitty that you've ever done and all the failures, that you can't move forward. And I think that it's difficult to move forward without the cross, like the forgiveness of the cross. And like that's something that I have to constantly, I know we talk all the time about, like, oh, people are born with this in nature and like stuff like that, but that's something that I have to constantly remind myself. Not that I don't think that I'm a sinner, I absolutely do, but it's like sometimes it feels like it's always in front of me, like, you failed at this, you failed at that, you failed. And so it's like, you can either look at all that, or you can say, well, hold on a second, like, I was never meant to be a perfect person. Like, I was never set up for that. So that means you have to accept the failures that you have, go to the cross and say, okay, Jesus, you forgave me for these things, but help me to become a different person. But if you keep focusing on your failures, it's basically impossible to grow, because you're looking back and it's just like, you're just marinating in all of this instead of, like, going on toward growth and change. And the other thing too is, if you're always looking at your failures, then when you make a mistake again, it's just too much, because it's like, it is just piles and piles of, like, I'm not measuring up. So there was that line, but then she said, break all the walls to fill the void. That was another crazy line, because, you know, like, you'll hear people talk about, like, they're like self-sabotagers, or, you know, that concept of, like, well, a void, there's nothing there. It's just like, it's just empty. And so there were walls, but you break them all to fill up the space, because it's better to have some chaos and whatever there than to have nothing. Which, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird, see what I'm saying?
XBM says, I do think there is a thin line between realizing the shelf life on a relationship is over versus ending it so soon because someone isn't hitting all of your standards. Well, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of standards. I just have a few.
Yeah, the situation that he's referencing.
I have a few standards. One of them is, you can't be a 700-pound burden on my back from the day that I knew you, and you continue to be one. Eventually, I'm going to stop and take off the backpack and keep pushing. You know, so I agree. Like, I don't play fast and loose with that stuff, because the other side of it is, like, when people come after my friends, like, I'm the worst person in the world after that. You see what I'm saying? You know, like, if somebody goes after my people, like, I'm the worst person in the world. But anything before that, I'm pretty much to myself. So, like, I see it on both sides where it's like, yeah, he's extreme relative to how he rides for his friends, but then on the other side, it's like, well, if you cross certain things, he'll never, like, I understand that. For me, it's not really about standards as much as it is about boundaries and just having the understanding that if certain things are done, there's no way to get back to that other place.
Yeah,
Words cannot be unsaid, actions cannot be undone. Like, it is what it is.
The other thing too, I mean, obviously I haven't known you your entire life. I've known you like, what, 20 years or something like that. However long I've known you and I've seen you in different relationships, I've never seen you cut anything off at one offense. It's always like a bunch, and like the way that you, like, I guess you could say forgive people or overlook people's offenses, and like kind of like you'll be like, well, you're very understanding as to what got somebody there. So somebody has like this complete meltdown, and then you're like, well, this and this happened, and that's why they're in that situation. And it seems like you'll keep doing that until all of a sudden you hit a point where you're like, okay, no, this is just too much.
It's true.
Yeah. And then it does, I think, for the person seem a little bit abrupt, because there's been so much grace that's been given to them, like over grace. It's a funny word because it makes it sound like you're upon a throne pouring grace on people, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you've overlooked stuff so many times and given people so many excuses for what's been going on for so long that people are like, well, hold on, you've done it 15 times before, why don't you do it again?
Yeah.
And then they're mad at you for not doing it again.
For sure.
So it's kind of a weird situation, but yeah, I've never seen you cut off anything on the first, second, third, or fourth. It's always like, a lot of offenses in multiple different ways. And then there'll usually be like one big one. And then you're like, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah. I did?
Like, it's like, there's a bunch of things before it, but then there was like, boom, that was a big one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's weirdos, man. Like, people are weird.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't want to get into it, but the song is, she writes, I want to see, like, who gets the writing credits here. I hope there's no Drake. There better not be any BBL Drizzy shit happening right now.
I don't think there is, because
save me because
so
I'm
many
falling
of them.
down. Oh, we're so far from the ground.
Yeah.
That's a good line. Because, like, they got all high on their relationship, and then when it dissolves, like, she's crashing down from a high area. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying?
And she's saying she's saying she just wants him to hold her hand, or telling the person to hold her hand,
she's
because
like,
if they did, she wouldn't have fallen. But
she says, I don't want to understand, I just want to hold your hand. That's what she said. Like, that's not a good philosophy, ladies, believe me.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to understand a little bit. Trust me.
Her voice is incredible. Like, it's like deep and it's raspy,
so
like
powerful.
Like 80s, and then
so
it's
powerful.
very powerful, and it looks effortless. The word is not correct.
Yeah.
When she's doing, I'm like, wow, okay.
She's killing shit, boy.
Mm-hmm.
She's killing it.
So yeah, this one's a good
album is Pal's concept. All three of them, however, write the lyrics. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So 9.7 for me.
This one's got a 9.5 for me.
Oh, look, and Franco was correct. We didn't get any blocks, right?
We didn't get a stream suspension. We're still live, bitches.
Yep. Okay,
very good.
Up next is the documentary. This one, he said, will definitely get blocked.
Okay, we've got a documentary. It's the band Baby Metal documentary. You can see it on Rumble. BBC. When you get to this, we're going to do the, commercial break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to be on the Rumble side because the fascists at YouTube are going to shut it down. You guys know what it is. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. Commercial break. Bye-bye. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at VinAndSori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinAndSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. If you are on the YouTube side, you're going to want to shift shops. You're going to want to go to the Rumble side, dear listener, because the fascists at YouTube are certain to shut us down. This is Baby Metal. There's an entire documentary. You guys know how Baby Metal is, just J-pop in general. They've hurt many a channel. So we're going to go to the Rumble side, and in about 2 minutes, we'll give you guys some time to go to the Rumble side, and then after that, we're going to take off and watch this Baby Metal, not live stream, but what do you call that? The documentary. Baby Metal documentary. Let me get to restream here. Again, if you are a YouTuber, I'm gonna need you to get off of YouTube and get onto Rumble. Get off of YouTube and get onto Rumble, because we're about to launch this play and do it. Okay. Having said that, let's go. This is the Baby Metal documentary. Take 1. Let's do it.
Japan, home of sushi, sumo wrestling, and increasingly, the most wild and creative music and pop culture in the world. Leading the charge for Japanese culture overseas has been the phenomenal rise of baby metal. 3 teen girls behind the huge viral video Gimme Chocolate, who are about to bring their completely unique fusion of metal and J-pop to a sold-out Wembley. I want to investigate how a band like Baby Metal can become so big in the UK, tracing their story and influences from Wembley to Tokyo. We'll be delving into the Japanese rock scene, going fashion shopping on the streets of Harajuku, meeting some of the biggest J-pop stars in the world, and sampling the Tokyo nightlife along the way, all in an effort to understand how a sound and culture so different can have such an impact 6,000 miles from home. First, I'm meeting up with Baby Metal just a few days ahead of the biggest show of their lives outside Japan.
スーメタルです。イエイメタルです。ワーメタルです。We are Baby Metal.
So could you start off by introducing yourselves? Who are Baby Metal and what are you about?
We're a fusion of idol and cute and metal. Cute is kawaii. It's Japanese. We're newborn genre. It's baby metal.
You guys are just about to play Wembley. It's one of the biggest arenas in the UK. You're the first Japanese band to ever headline Wembley, and you've nearly sold it out. What does that feel like?
そうですね。未だにウェンブリーに立つっていう実感が湧いてなくて、本当に海外のアリーナクラスのライブは初めてなので、やっぱり 緊張するし不安な気持ちもあるんですけど、それよりも楽しみな気持ちが大きくて、今回は日本人初だったりとか、あと若い人でウェンブリーのステージに立っている人は珍しいっていう話を聞いたので、だったら自分たちにしかできないこと、そしてベビーメタルだからできることがあるんじゃないかなって思うから、本当に伝統のある歴史のあるステージで私たちは新たな歴史、新たな伝説を刻みたいと思います。
When I first heard it, it's like, what the bleep is this? I gotta go see him live.
I've been a fan for about 2 years now. I dress up like them, I go to school on costume days like them. I just love them, they're so happy and they make me happy.
I've never been to a metal concert before. I saw them at Sony's Fair and I've never been to one since.
The little one, when she heard it, she liked it, so it was a win-win thing really, because now she's into the same type of music as I am.
Be prepared for chaos. You're going to get a little bit of those trigger drums, that really heavy metal.
Pretty much everyone's up for a party is going to be. They need to be here.
It was so young.
I think it was just, I don't know, intense, but it was also like magical at the same time. Like you never really get a mixture of kind of cute and metal, and to have the combination, everybody together just singing and chanting, it was really like powerful.
I came with a lot of friends that have never seen and only probably heard 1 or 2 songs, and they probably had one of the best live concert they've been to. Just see the whole spectacle, the performance as well as the production. The Japanese really know how to put a production show on.
It was really powerful and energetic compared to Japan, because most of the audiences are from all over Europe, so we could feel the real power of their excitement.
Favorite gig of the past couple of years, I'd say. We go to a lot of gigs. We do.
So I just had my first ever Baby Metal concert experience, and I don't think I properly have the words to describe what I just saw. It was like being bashed around in a pinball machine for an hour. I mean, it was a full-on assault on the senses. It was a mosh pit, circle pits, light show, pyrotechnics, outfit changes, choreographed dance moves. I feel like the next logical step is to go to Japan and find out a little bit more about the culture and influence that's behind what we just saw. The next stop is Tokyo. I've just touched down in Tokyo and I'm on the way to meet a local illustrator to find out about some of the incredible styles and fashion influences key to baby metal and Japanese pop culture.
Bunny Bisu, artist and illustrator.
Hey, how are you? All right? How's it going? So, you're going to teach me about Japanese style and Japanese fashion. Where are we?
We're in Harajuku and we're on Takeshita Dori, or Takeshita Street, the center, the heartbeat of kawaii culture, kawaii fashion, and kind of youth subcultures, youth fashion.
Now, the word kawaii I've heard bandied about quite a lot. I've been pretending like I know what it means. I think I kind of get it, but what is it?
Okay, simply kawaii is cute, but it doesn't just extend to just how we might want to use that word in English to just say that baby is cute or something. Like in Japan, everything can be cute, anything can be cute. Cute can be a subculture, a fashion style, a type of music, a type of way to wear your hair. And this gets thrown around everywhere and used by everybody.
Your style's pretty awesome. How would you describe it?
I'm not really sure today. Well, twin tails, they call bunches of twin tails in Japan, so two tails. This is kind of, I guess, a trademark kawaii thing. I kind of like wearing it. So that's my kawaii trademark for today. But my style varies every day. Could be rockabilly one day and punk the next day and something really cute, and I don't know. I like to just mix it all up. That's why I like Harajuku so much.
Bunny, I feel like you brought me to the inside of some candy floss. Where are we?
Okay, we're inside Closet Child, which is a Lolita store. It's all the popular Lolita fashion brands. Now, Lolita is the kind of, as you can see, kind of frilly, cute style. And for the people who like this, for some people it's more than just fashion, it's a whole lifestyle, maybe dressing like this every single day. I think the misconception from people overseas is maybe it's a costume, so maybe it's a sexy costume. To wear frilly things is kind of bedroom sexy clothes, but if anything, it's the opposite. The women who wear Lolita, they don't dress this way for men, like not at all. They dress this way because this is what they want to wear. They want to wear like the most pink, the most cute outfit, and they have total control over how much they're showing or not showing.
It doesn't feel very baby metal-esque.
Ah, that's because the floor we're on is mostly sweet Lolita and elegant Lolita. Baby metal is gothic Lolita.
Okay, where's that?
Upstairs.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Let's do that then.
Let's see Gothic Lolita.
Okay,
Gothic
this seems
Lolita.
a little bit more like it.
Yeah, so now we're on the gothic Lolita, punk Lolita floors.
I mean, in a post-Drake environment,
I know.
the Lolita thing, I'm not really a fan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more black up here. So things like this maybe looks like some of their stage costumes, and we've got, well, maybe like dresses like this in red and black.
Can you
It's a
pause
little
that?
more dark and edgy than the sweet stuff we're seeing.
I don't know, like, I don't know if she's bullshitting when she says, like, the girls that wear this, they're not doing it because it's, like, some sexy thing that they're trying to do for men. This is just because they happen to like this. I don't know whether or not that's true, because I find that, like, when women want to influence other women, they will just lie.
Yeah.
And they'll say, "Oh, you know, I'm better off without a man. I'd rather, you know, parent all on my own and go to
Right.
work." And you know what I mean? So I don't know what the situation is like, if that's really true, like if they really are wearing that and it has nothing to do with how sexy or whatever they want to look for anybody else. And in that case, then it's pretty cool that they're, you know, they like it, they're going to wear it. We had to wear stuff like that, like
What?
when I was a kid. Like my mom put us in those frilly, puffy,
Oh my god.
like,
I never understood the frills. Like, what's that supposed to do? Frills on
it
the
was
shoulder. Right?
just girly looking, feminine looking, I guess. I don't know.
Saw a dude with that one time.
A dude.
Yeah, well, feminine looking. Here we go.
Downstairs. You came to Harajuku and you're wanting to find something to kind of replicate baby metal style, or maybe you want to go to the concert, then something like this is going to be pretty good.
Fashion's one thing, but what about the music influences behind baby metal? I think I know just the place to boost my J-pop game.
New metal.
This is the world famous Tower Records right in the heart of Tokyo. They've been told this is the place to come to discover new music
I
and
told you
also
that
learn
person
a
got
lot
kicked
more
out.
about Japanese music as
really?
well.
They're
So I'm gonna have a little look
It was
around.
Virgin
and,
Records, not
see what I
Tower
find.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you did tell me.
So, I've only been in here like a couple of minutes. I'm already quite confused and a little bit lost. I think the section that I'm in right now, it's like anime bands. I think it sort of mixes, from what I've seen on the screen anyway, a little bit of a story, but then they sort of break out into song. And then if you enjoy it, you can buy the album afterwards as well.
You can buy the album.
Right, okay. It's the baby metal display. Got quite a lot of baby metal around Tower Records. You get the feeling that they're really, really proud of their success and they want to just show them off. This is awesome. So we're on the J-pop floor now. I think this is one of those Japanese idol bands. Maybe in the West it might be usual to have 4 or 5 members in a band. In Japan, 9 members. I'm heading
That's
to
so
Akihabara to speak to somebody who can hopefully explain the J-pop and idol.
That's like one of the most inefficient things to me is these 9-person bands. Like,
how do you make money
you
that
got
way?
to do all these split. I mean, these girls are selling out stadiums and shit. So like, I think they can make. But there's only like 4 of them in that band. But we have seen, because Revo's done a couple J-pop, K-pop bands, and they've been like an ensemble band.
Yeah.
I just don't know like how
you make money that
how those splits. But they must be killing shit. It must be like hand over the fist. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, Slipknot was able to do it in heavy metal.
It's hard to know, because the more we hear about these record labels and all these different things, like we're watching a documentary right now, and like these folks were dancers, and they had like they were pulling in tons. I mean, millions of people were subbed to them, and they got underneath somebody's umbrella that was gonna manage for them, and then they were money hand over fist they were giving to these folks. You know what I mean? Like the people were not making money off of their own content, to what they should have been. So I don't know what type of situation, because it seems like anytime that a talentless person sees somebody that has talent that they can capitalize off, they will suck them dry if they can.
Yeah, but
so these girls, like I don't know how it is over there.
I look at Slipknot though, and like they've had some legal troubles. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah, they had fights over that
and
stuff. Yeah,
lawsuits and shit. And I just think like, obviously when you've got a bunch of dudes in the band, and like one of them, all his job is to do is like hit a, I'm supposed to pay you the same thing as like to the guitarist who's doing all like what?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think it's this too. It's like all these people are so talented. Like, but honestly, like if you've heard one of these guys, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
The thing is, if you're the drum basher and you haven't done the work that there is to like learn the guitar, then you can be like, what? I contribute. I'm here every time that you guys are here. And they're not looking at it from the side of the person that actually like does the majority of the work. Like in our band, like you're the one, you do so much practice on your guitar that, we come as a package deal. So if you make money, I make money. But, but you should make the lion's share.
The lion's share.
Behind baby metal, that little bit better.
Patrick St. Michel, music journalist.
Idol culture, what's it all about?
Well, right now we are in Akihabara, which is the center of idol culture in Japan. Idol culture is sort of a subset of Japanese pop music that's been around since the early 70s. It's groups of young women and sometimes men who perform really peppy pop songs. The key with idol culture is it's about creating a close relationship with the fans. The biggest idol group at the moment is AKB48, who perform nightly at a theater kind of over there. It stands for Akihabara 48 because originally the group had 48 members in total.
What?
Since then, it has expanded significantly, and I believe today, last time I checked, there's 140. AKB48 has a very famous motto that is idols that you can meet. So they'll hold events sort of in the streets here in Akihabara. There's handshake events, photo opportunities. There's a cafe here in Akihabara devoted to AKB48 with its own AKB48 store. Every June, they have the AKB48 general election, where if you buy the latest CD single, you get a ballot and you fill it out with who your favorite performer in the group is. And whoever has the most votes ends up the #1 girl.
Smart.
A pop group with a sort of presidential election aspect thrown in as well.
Very much so, yeah.
So the idol scene sounds quite fun, open to everybody. People seem really into it. Is there not a darker, more controversial side to it?
Oh, there's definitely a more controversial side to it. With a group like AKB48 especially, a lot of sort of middle-aged men are drawn to them.
This is what I was worried about.
Some would say it can get a bit seedy. Many, both here in Japan and outside of the country, have made that point. I've talked to a few idol fans who are like maybe in their mid-30s, and they've framed it to me as they view the performers as like their sisters, their little sisters, and they feel like they're supporting them.
So what influence does idol culture and bands have on other types of Japanese music?
In industry terms, it inspired a lot of music labels to start their own idol groups and trying to focus on niche fandoms. So for example, baby metal was created as a way to sort of reach metal fans who might not go for AKB48's brand of music. And then there have also been artists who've kind of seemed like they've gained popularity as sort of a alternative to idol culture. In recent years, one of those would be Kyari Pamyu Pamyu. She was formerly a model in Harajuku who then became a pop star. She went viral on YouTube, and she has attracted a lot of fans in Europe and North America, and a lot of celebrities have also been drawn to her. She's really left a mark on non-Japanese listeners.
Wow. It's crazy to me. We never heard of these people until Greenville.
Hi. So nice to meet you. Thank you. Please have a seat.
Many people would consider you the queen of J-pop, one of the most recognizable J-pop artists outside of Japan. What's the secret?
やっぱり原宿カルチャーをとっても大事にしていて、私も大好きな街なんですけれども、なんかこうもっとポップで可愛い世界観でプロモーションビデオを作ったり、キラキラした音楽を歌っていきたいなということで、自分で好きなことをやってますね。アイデアの発想は、今まで誰もやったことないことをやりたいなと思って、日本は結構アニメとかアイドル文化がすごくあるんですけれども、なんかそういうポップカルチャーっていうのが私の知ってる限りはあんまりアイコンの人がいなかったので、そういう存在になれたらいいなと思って、いろんな色を使ったり、いろんな面白いことをやったりしています。
How did it feel to have people like Katy Perry and Lady Gaga say that you were an influence on them?
ケイティ、言われた時、いやもう本当にぶったまげました。なんかケイティ・ペリーさんを特に、高校生の頃から聞いていて、ポップな世界観がとっても好きで、なんかこういうの私好きだなと思っていた時に、なんかそうやって私のことをすごくいいって言ってくれたのは本当に夢みたいだし、なんか信じられなかったですね。
I feel like I've learned so much about Japanese pop music, but as far as baby metal goes, that's just one side of the coin. I'm heading to one of Tokyo's most famous rock venues to explore the Japanese rock scene with one of its most successful exports.
Ken, get up. We are crossfade.
So we're in a grimy dressing room of a really cool venue at the moment. What can you tell me about this place?
So we are in like a room in Tokyo. Like every single band, every single artist like came from the outside of Japan is playing here. In Macedon, Jamaica, yeah, mellow music, Jamaica, yeah, Jamaica, and like so many.
Jamaica!
Jamaica! I love this venue.
What can you tell me about today's rock scene in Japan?
When we started the band, there wasn't like any band playing out of Japan.
Yeah.
Since then, like Cold Rain, like
One Ok Rock as well, and like a lot of bands like trying to get outside of Japan. And now I think like much easier for Japanese band to get outside of Japan. Definitely it's getting bigger and better. Now we are ready to, you know, conquer the world.
So bands like yourself and Baby Metal, all these fans over in the UK, you guys just did a UK headline tour. Why do you think this is?
Like Japanese band is like Japan is like little island, and the UK as well, right? Like we don't be afraid to like mixing like the genre music and like style, like see like Baby Metal, like they mix like metal music and like kawaii stuff, you know what I mean? Like the Japanese like otaku stuff, and we sing in English, but at the same time like we put like electronic stuff with the heavy music. we mix them out. So like that's the reason why we like Japanese bands like getting popular in the UK, I think.
Okay, I can see
I'm here
that.
at the Nico building, which I've been told is Japan's equivalent of YouTube. I'm here to check out a launch show for a new single from a band that epitomizes the crazy mashup of influences and styles that we've come to learn about in Japanese music. I've no idea what to expect. I know it's going to be fun though, so let's get inside and check it out.
Pop, stamp, job, inking
Is that baby metal?
Lady Baby 大好きです
Lady Baby Day!
It's awesome. The power the girls and the Ladybeard have on stage is amazing. And everybody just getting into it, headbanging, dancing, jumping around, screaming, shouting. The fans were extremely good today.
Lady Baby! Yeah!
Concerts here in Japan are much different from America. The dedication is just extreme here.
Oh, that's a dude who's dressed like a girl. Holy hell.
Bro, show. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
No, you're not, bro.
Lady Beard, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. How you
say
going?
Lady Beard?
First question. I heard you used to be a wrestler.
That's right. I actually still am a wrestler. So I do this and I wrestle parallel with one another.
I think I'd have a hard time summing you guys up. Could you describe your sound and style, please?
Well, the name of the style of music that we have is called kawaii death. So kawaii being the Japanese word for cute, of course, and death being death. So the style is a combination of everything beautiful and lovely and sweet and delightful.
Yeah, he did
in
say
life,
Lady Beard.
combined with
That's his name,
everything
Lady Beard.
powerful, destructive, and abrasive in life, coming together in a perfect unison and harmony.
A bearded man with gorgeous hair.
Thank you.
Sometimes dresses as a maid, sometimes as Chung-Li, who sings metal songs crossed with J-pop with two girls. Might be a little bit of a hard sell in some other countries like the UK or in your home country of Australia. In Japan, totally works. Why is
No
this?
problem.
Wow.
That's a wonderful question. It's a question that actually I can't answer because I'm not Japanese. You know, all I can, do is kind of speculate. At the end of the day, all we can really say is it's unlike any other place on Earth. Any other place on Earth. The value system is different. The social structure is different. And that means that the creations are different.
Now, I very much enjoyed the show. Definitely want to hang out with you a little bit more. It's my last night in Japan,
No.
Where should we go? Where can I go to really experience Japan? Where should you
Well,
take
I
me?
mean, what do you reckon? I mean, karaoke is a fairly Japanese thing. How do you feel about karaoke? You fancy a sing?
Who doesn't like karaoke? Let's do it.
Let's do it, bro.
All right.
All right. Get it on. Come this way, sir.
My fire, my one desire. You are. Don't wanna hear you.
What the fuck is that?
I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. He's doing the windmill. Tell me why.
Tell me why.
Why are you dressed that way?
Yeah, babe, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I'm not really comfortable with dude.
I'm good with that. That's age appropriate. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm not good with him around.
Well, I've come to the end of my time here in Japan. I really don't want to go home. I love the city. Just had a bit of a mad night out with Lady Beard. I've learned loads about Japanese music, and culture, and fashion, and all the ingredients that go into making a band like Baby Metal. In fact, Baby Metal sort of personifies, in my opinion, all the things that are great about Tokyo. This crazy mashup of genres and influences and really passionate fans. And at the end of my journey, I've realized this is a band that could only ever come from one place in the world, and that's Japan.
That was Baby. That was cool because it was Baby Metal, but it was also other metal bands in what do you call it? Get those likes up, Rumbillions!
I was gonna say that. We need the likes up on
Rumble. The hell is wrong with you, Rumbillions?
Yeah.
Get the likes up, bitches.
Yes. You guys know how this goes. We got 42 people up in this joint. We need to get those likes up. I don't know how it works, but something about the algorithm.
And if you're on Twitter, retweet. You'll get a chance to get put into a drawing. Okay.
There's actually going to be you can double dip in the drawings. We are going to be coming out with a list soon that is going to tell you how you can get your name in the drawing at the end of the month, and you can get your name in there multiple times.
Somebody's going to figure some shit out. They're going to come up with some loophole shit. I guarantee you. They always do. They always find some way. So I've been thinking through this contest or whatever.
Yep.
And trying to plug every single loophole.
Yeah.
In the world, but
it's not find a way.
Yeah, it's not that hard to outsmart us, man. That's
Jet, thanks for liking it. Steve, thanks for liking it. Anybody else, if you guys can just get those likes
more
up,
likes
we need
on
likes.
Listen, we will cut this show off, bro. We will literally cut this show off. What did Kevin Samuel say? I'm not starting. Next time we go, we're not starting till we get 11 likes on this bitch. I'm not even joking. Folks might have to reschedule all types of shit.
Oh my gosh, babe.
One of the reasons, I'm going to be real with you guys, one of the reasons that we are standing up the Rumble side is because we're refusing to compromise on the breaking up the song thing. We're just not going to do it. And so YouTube, they'll suspend the stream and all the rest of it. Then we got to go haggle with our, YouTube person. Why? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. All right.
Okay, so that documentary was interesting. I mean, I still have...
Look, see, Jet just said no. I don't know why she just said no, though.
I don't know.
Do me
probably when you said we're going to reschedule and shit. That's probably what she's saying no to. Because she already put a like.
She took my threat seriously. Excellent.
Excellent. And Stevie says you're going to need to look at your messenger on Facebook. You're going to love it.
Only 4 likes. Only 4 likes, you miserable brats.
Oh, yeah. Literally only 4 likes.
Literally only 4 likes. We got all the people on that page. All right. We just go chill here.
So we've got Stevie, Jet, Ben, and one other person liked. Must be Franco must have liked. So, Dwayne, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, remember that guy used to do that?
Oh.
There was this guy who used to watch his channel, The Metal Elitist, and if you jumped off his Patreon, he would be like, "Why did you do that? Why did you? I couldn't believe you be berating these people for leaving his Patreon. Lost Hate said it was him. That did no, it was him that put the likes here. Okay, anyway, so the baby metal scene is it's so hard for me to overlook how young they look. I definitely think that they're very talented.
It's called baby metal.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe there is a cultural thing here that we don't get. But he did say that I was surprised they brought it up in the documentary.
He pointed out himself. It's a bunch of middle-aged dudes.
Yeah, that are
looking at girls that could be their daughters, man. What the fuck? What do y'all I'll never understand that shit with some of these people.
Yeah.
Don't make no sense to me.
Yeah,
bro.
no, I agree. That's kind of uncomfortable for sure.
Yeah, it's what are y'all doing?
Yeah. I do think, if I can separate that, because I tried to separate it this time, because usually, I obsess about that when I'm seeing baby metal stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, who's in there oogling at these girls? These girls look so freaking young, and not only do they look young just by their
presentation. Yeah.
But their presentation on top of that, like pigtails, short little like little stuff that we wore when we were like 3 and 4 years old. Like it was like that long ago. So it's hard for me to like separate that. But when the lady said, hey, like they don't wear these things for any sexual reason. They're not trying to be sexy. They're just trying to be cute. And this is what they like. And you can show as much as you want so that your skirt can be as long or as short as you want. I thought that was kind of, I was like, okay, if we can go with that, then, you know, but you still have where he said there are people that are oogling at them and stuff. So,
I mean, female artists are always going to get treated that way, but it's this weird thing where they talk about, like, it's almost like in Vegas where you have a residency and, like, you perform every week or whatever, like Britney Spears used to do.
Uh-huh.
It seems like they got a place like that in Tokyo, but it's like they have, you know, it's handshakes and all types of other shit that they were talking about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
You can get a picture, you can shake
Yeah,
your hand.
yeah, so that, like, you know, you put these girls on display and then there's money. I mean, you know, just because, you know, there's some nasty people over here doesn't mean that that's like that for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
and the other thing too is like we're looking at this. We have to be careful because we're looking at this as Americans.
that's what I said. There's a cultural
You know?
thing here that we don't,
So there's a lot of shit that's probably lost in translation. You know what I'm saying that we
Yeah.
don't know about. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
no, I agree. I agree with that. I do think too, like I said, usually it's extremely difficult for me to separate it. But I think like I was glad that the guy brought it up in the documentary, and then I was still trying to look at it like okay, the ones that were in the dark outfits with the red.
Yeah.
To me, that wasn't as extreme as the ones that looked like they were surrounded by candy and having pillow fights, and then all of a sudden those like little looking kids all of a sudden became in bikinis and they were out in I was like, holy shit, what is happening here? But aside from that, like the other ones, I was like, the concept, I love like small things. Like if there's something that's big and you shrink it down and you make it like this big, I don't care what it is, it can be something as ridiculous as like a little miniature toilet. I'm like, that's so freaking cute, what the heck?
It's
So-
interesting when I compare this group to Warning though.
Let me just finish this. So when they're like the presentation with the outfits that they wear and the way that they do their hair and like they're using the concept of cute and they're saying that it's broader than the cute that we have here. Like when you mix that like cuteness with like metal, it is cute because it's like this is different, you know. Like so when I look at it from that angle, I'm like I can see how this is something that's like sort of unique in its own way, but they are definitely different than the Warning. Well, I think they're completely different than the Warning. What exactly did you mean by that?
Well, for one, it's like, how long can you keep up the Baby Metal moniker in the first place? Because it's like that kid from Lost, you know, like the little black kid from Lost, Walt or whatever his name.
Yeah.
Like they had an entire thing planned out for him.
Yeah.
And then he hit a growth spurt and he comes back, he's like 6'1", 6'2". And so it was like, we're gonna have to do something else with you because you're not a kid anymore. So it's like, okay, Baby Metal, like when they all look like they were 14 and 15, sure, but like, let's say 10 years from then, they're gonna be 24, 25, still calling themselves Baby Metal. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Warning's not gonna go through that. Like, see what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Baby Metal, like, you're gonna eventually outgrow the gimmick.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's
Right?
going to take longer because of the way that they're like constructed
What do you mean?
as a people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
I have no idea what you're saying.
It's like in black culture,
Yeah.
you can have a 15-year-old that friggin' looks like she's 30 because the way she's so built.
Yep.
But like these people, the way that they're constructed, they're generally smaller in frame and not like super curvaceous and stuff.
Oh,
So
I
they
got you.
look younger
I
even
got
when
you, I
they're
got you.
older. I mean, like I used to go blueberry picking from
Yeah,
this
but
woman from
Baby
Korea,
Metal-
and she was. What do you mean? What?
It's Baby Metal to me, like, definitely works with the aesthetic they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
But when they hit puberty or whatever and they're like 28, 29, it's like, hey, welcome so-and-so from Baby Metal. And
I
I'm
agree.
almost
I
30
think they're
years
probably
old.
have to
I don't
switch
know.
them
I
out.
just, like, that happens
I
with
agree.
rappers a lot. Like, these people, what's his name? Little Bow Wow? So he came out when he was like 9 or 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Came out as Little Bow Wow. And then, like, he was in the game for 10, 15 years. He just changed it to Bow Wow because it's like, I can't keep calling myself little. I've got kids now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, that's my only thing. It's like that's one of the biggest differences between Warning and this band to me. Is like the Warning, whether it's fair or not, I take them a lot more seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take Warning very, very seriously as a band. So, and as vocalists, I'm not saying I don't respect these girls either. They're badass, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know what that means.
That's why I was pointing to you, because usually you translate better than I do. Dwayne, most likely Baby Metal band members will be replaced by younger girls to keep the look. I bet they're like a corporation, not true artists.
Okay, that is interesting. That is very interesting. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Franco, what have you heard about that? I wish Revo was here. He'd probably have some information.
I'm sure they've done that before. Because it's like, in America, if you say a record label created a band, like that's like the complete no persona non grata, whatever. Like, but apparently over there, it's like, yeah, like we just built this band and we're gonna mix and match because the people there are just actually placeholders. Because we've got this concept of a band and it works. I mean, look, if it's working, it's working. The Wikipedia says that the oldest Baby Metal girl now is 26. You know what I'm saying? Like 26, you're almost 30 years old in the band Baby Metal. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the documentary though. I like the documentary because it's gonna set us up to listen to some Baby Metal.
Yeah.
And we're gonna listen to Baby Metal literally like right now. We're gonna skip our commercial break and we're gonna go right into the reading.
We actually have 2 Baby Metal songs.
And we have 2 Baby Metal songs. So I was gonna surprise you guys with an encore, but that's dead now because my partner in crime's out here. You never
announcing.
Yeah, I'm glad you never went. You never signed up for the agency.
Okay. Can you read this first one?
Keeping our country's secrets, God. Comments. Iljime, Dame, and Zatai, or Bullying No Good Absolutely, is the debut major label single by Japanese heavy metal band Baby Metal. It was released in Japan on January 9, 2013, at the 4th overall single from the album self-titled Baby Metal.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. The name of this song is...
Yes, Ben, thank you.
No, it's not Yes, Ben, thank you. It's
Jemi
Dame Zatai, 2/14/32. All right, dear listener, here we go. Baby Metal in this bitch. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Holy, that was Baby Metal. What you know about that? I know all about that.
Actually, I enjoyed that one.
You know I got a key in the 3, show the shirt back. You enjoyed that one?
Yeah, like
it's a metal song. That shit was hard as hell.
It was hard, but the message was, like no bullying and like don't hurt people and stuff. I like that. And she said it almost seems like she came to a point where it was like almost life or death for her. And then she decided like to do something. Okay, so dreaming, I couldn't even have it. Between the light and the darkness, I stayed alone. Those who got hurt were only, were not only I myself, but those who kept on watching me, it was you. Confidence, have it. I couldn't have it. I kept on hiding until yesterday, but goodbye to yesterdays. Myself. Bullying, it's disgraceful. Sometimes you get hurt, sometimes you hurt someone, and we all get badly hurt. See how it was like this sort of like balanced thing? I'm sure you can fly. Let your pain and sadness all go outside. It's okay because I'll protect you. I didn't show my tears, and in the night I was about to cry, in a room deep inside my heart, I stayed alone. Those who hurt me were not only someone else, but also those who pretended not to notice. It was my friend. Damn.
I mean, Revo was the one that, I don't understand these people that are allowing this bully or these bullies to kill yourself because people are bullying. I just don't understand that. To me, I mean, that's how we grew up. Like, we were the only black kids in a all-white school in Maine at one point. Like, how do you think that went? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you guys were constantly bullied?
Are you, what?
Well, you weren't bullied by the girls. Weren't they
when I first came to this country,
team black men?
When I first came to this country,
you talk about when you came to Maine?
When I first came to America,
yeah,
we were the only black kids in a white school. You don't think we got bullied?
No, I'm sure when you were a kid there was bullying that happened for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's people. I don't understand these people killing themselves over that shit. Like, I don't get it. Like, we went through that every day. Then we went to the block and we were the only black kids in the neighborhood. Like,
and it's not like you guys came up that way. You were from Jamaica, so
yeah. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm not like. I'm genuinely trying to understand it. I mean, and most of the people that have killed themselves have been female, so, like, okay, I understand that. But for the life of me, I like the message, but, like, I'm like, man, like, these are just normal things that happen to people in the world. Like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to. It's not even a criticism. It's just something that I can't. I like the musicianship, but I just can't resonate with the lyrics because. But again, like these are small. I mean, I would never write a song about.
Oh no, not for you.
Or,
but these are like small. They're how old are these people?
Yeah, I'm just saying I can't relate to it.
Even in that, yeah.
I mean, it might just be about gender. Like, this shit might just affect women differently than it affects dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for us, it's like, if folks ain't trying to kill you, man, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
so friggin' extreme.
Dudes ain't trying to kill you. Like,
I never in my life thought somebody might try to kill me coming up. You know what I mean? Although I wasn't,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
really didn't care about bullying unless it came from my sister. That's the only time that would kind of make me sad. Not kind of, it would. I mean, I'm sure she had her reasons, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, what if I didn't get bullied though? So I don't know what that would be like. I don't know why they're bullying each other. What's going on?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but like these folks are killing themselves. You know, like they're on TV and shit, like living their dreams, dancing in front of thousands of people, and then somebody says some crazy shit about them in the comment section. They jump off a building. Like, what the hell? I don't understand that. Like, I don't. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not. It seemed that the lyrics resonated with you a lot, and
yeah,
like,
because
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could be just a gender thing. You know?
My thing is, I can't see the baby metal crew as they're very young to me. So I'm looking at this as like...
This is an old video, though. This is like from 2013.
Right, but how old were these
ago.
girls in this video?
Like 14, 15, probably.
To me, they don't even look that age. They look like, you know, somewhere around 10 years old. So when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it from that perspective and seeing like some of these videos that I've seen of like kids in school, like I can't believe how many of them are putting hands on other people. You know, the bullying that kind of goes nonstop where they'll get you when you're at school, then they're going to get you on social media. And then it's like just constant, like, and you know, it seems like,
you know what? The social media angle I didn't think about.
It's,
as far as a bullying situation goes,
it's
I mean,
constant.
I still don't see myself killing myself over that, but I do see folks get hurt for posting shit on social media though.
Mm-hmm.
On both sides, I could see, because I could see us doing it, and I could also see the people that didn't like us, like getting some serious get back from that. So that part of it, like, yeah, okay, I get it, but like,
I mean, I also think that it, like, there's a certain hardness that you had to get to come up where you came up. So there's a certain
level of hardness you have to be black in America, period.
Yep. And I don't know what their culture is or what makes it so that way, you know, because I agree, like, even, like, I heard of somebody killing themselves over bullying. It was a person that I worked with, and it was somebody that was in her class.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of those situations where the girl said he invited her to prom or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh, like, I don't know if her parents made her say yes.
She didn't want to go?
She didn't want to go with him because he was like the loser of the class or whatever. I don't know. And then she didn't want to go with, and I don't know if she like, if it was like a joke to her. I can't remember, like, where she was like, ha, I said yes to him, let's laugh at him when he shows up. Or if her parents said she had to do it, and then when she actually got there, it was different. But when they got to prom, like, she made a thing of it, and he was, I guess, pretty embarrassed and hurt. And then he went and ended his life on her front porch. It was pretty horrible. So, like, the situation like that, it's like, that's the only situation I heard of where there was some bullying situation where somebody did something like that.
Who was being bullied?
Well, he was, because I guess everybody was like, he was already like considered like the loser of the class. And then, you know, he asked this girl to go with him, and she said yes, and so his hopes were all up. And then when he got there, people are laughing at him like, you really thought she was gonna go with you? What a fool, you know? And it was just, that was it. So,
wow.
And she was now, I guess that really fucked with her, because she got back, and she's the one that walked into the situation, you know? She got back from prom, and that was happening, so.
What a selfish bastard that kid was.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was definitely vindictive. He was getting his get back while he was, yeah.
These are just normal things that you go through at school, man. Like, you know, like, I don't know, but, you know, to your point, like, my solution was like, if I saw that if you got to me or you got to one of my friends, we just fight you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying? We'll just, you know, go ahead and talk that shit. Reef will just take off. He's just gonna take off on you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think, like, I will say that Americans are pretty quick to the draw on violence too. Like,
yes.
Just on a day-to-day basis. Like, I've been around the world. Like, I've been, you know, I've seen, like, I'm talking about regular. We're not in a state of warfare. We're not being invaded. Just regular, everyday, boring Tuesday. You know, like we're quicker to get physical than a lot of other people all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, that's the other side of it. Is like, what if you don't have? I'm just gonna take off on somebody. I'm just gonna beat the hell out of somebody, or I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me, but you're gonna have a bloody nose at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if that's not even in the as an option, like in the paradigm itself?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, like, how would they be able to solve that problem? Like, there would be a sense in which those people would never leave you alone. You see what I'm saying? Because to us, it was like, all right, if you keep talking shit, like, and nobody, doesn't matter how gangster you are, nobody wants that kind of energy, because we all know, by that time, we all knew shit was going to escalate.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think that the other thing to think about too is that your mother, obviously not a perfect person, nobody is, and I know that she, you know, she didn't always say the nicest things, but at the same time, she also did have a certain energy. I never met her. I'm just going off of what you've told me. She had a certain energy about her where she was like, you know, when they said those things, and she was like, what? That's because they're scared. When they called you that, you know, the word.
Yeah.
And then she was like, that's because they're afraid of you, and, you know, basically like to handle your business and stuff. Like, I think the way that your mother handled those situations also helped you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gave you a different outlook on the situation. And she's right. Like, I don't think that I didn't, you know, realize it then as much as I do now, but that is absolutely a lot of, you know, what goes on. Why can't a black person wear a hood? Why is that a situation? Okay, because there is some fear going on. Like, what? You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, like, I think that, you know, we don't know what parents these kids have either, and how the parents are constituted, because the parents might be, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
no, the parents might be what?
well, I don't know. The parents could be the type of people that are so busy with work that they're not really connected to where their kids are at or what their kids are going through. And so the kids are getting bullied at school, and they're getting bullied on social media, and then they're depressed and they're not doing their chores properly, and the parents come home and like, what the fuck are you doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but
I don't know.
like,
I don't know what's going on.
We had a situation where, you know, there was this gay kid in the neighborhood, and it was COVID. And so you had a bunch of kids that are usually in school.
Yeah.
Not in school.
Yeah.
And, you know, they started tormenting this kid, and then Dorian got involved.
He did.
And he got busy. You know, and
we kept going to check on that kid all the time.
Yeah,
too.
they were not even friends like that at the beginning. But
No.
like he was raised with a certain kind of mentality. Like, you see somebody in trouble, like, you gotta, you know. So like, it almost turned into some big shit. Like, cops got involved, all type of shit. You know, but, you know, Dorian was just not going to let it happen, man. He was just not going to let it happen. And, like, he, you know, the kid gave him a bracelet, all type of shit. I'm sure the kid had a crush on him. Like, I'm sure he did, you know? Like, he's a good-looking kid, and then he comes to your rescue. Like, he took on the entire block for that kid.
Yeah.
And
he got, that's when he got the name, the King of the Neighborhood.
Yeah, he got the he's the King of Tall Pines. He's the King of Tall Pines because, like, he stood up to all them gangster niggas. And he was up there, you know, like, he was gonna square up with them kids, like, for the sake of this gay kid, you know, and because the black community is horrible with LGBT issues, terrible.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And he didn't have I don't think the kid had a dad at home.
No,
or
his
anything.
dad.
It looked like it was like his grandmother or something. It was so sad because, like, I guess a group of people were gonna, like, to me, this is so friggin' cowardly. I would, if my kid treated somebody else's kid like this, there would be a situation.
Like what?
When the group of those kids were gonna wait for that one kid to walk himself home, and they were gonna beat him up or whatever they were gonna do, that Dorian ended up getting involved. And, like, the grandmother, she's got her friggin' walker with the little seat attached, and she got herself as far as she could, and then she was sitting, like, what can she actually do? But she was, like, there to try to protect him or do something, and that's when we saw them, and you went over and talked to her. I don't know if you remember that. Word. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, I mean, obviously it's...
My God, raise your kids differently. Like, what? How is your kid, like, how is your kid that bad off that he's going to group together with other kids to beat up one kid?
Just because he's gay.
Because
like,
he's
literally,
gay?
that's it. And
Come on.
literally, that's all it was, man. And, you know, but, you know, the kid wasn't alone. Like, we're not going to let that shit happen as long as we're around. We're not going to let that shit happen. We need to be, you know.
I mean, and the thing is, like, you, let's say me because you were the one that did the talking, but you put your money where your mouth is, because there was another situation that did involve one of our kids, and our kid was kind of being a bully in the situation. and was not dealing with the situation fairly. And we ended up talking with our kid and the other kid in the neighborhood. And then as the story like rolled itself out, all of a sudden I realized, I was like, holy shit, our kid is wrong.
Yeah.
And like my knee jerk is to like go on the side of my kid even if they are wrong. And it's very difficult for me to see like on the outside of it. You were like, oh, well. And then like that changed the way that you went about the situation.
Yeah, because he started talking reckless about you. And so
oh shit, I forgot about
Dorian
that.
was like, the next time I see him, like I'm a two-piece set kid for real. I said, all right, cool. And then we saw him in the street. I'm like, yo, come here let me talk to you for a second. And you know, then his side came out, and you know, our kid was wrong, and so he's like, yo, you can't do that to this kid, man. Like, what are you doing? You know, I mean, the kid was a bitch. I mean,
yeah, no two ways about that. Yeah.
The other situation happened. He's a straight up hoe, but you know, fair is fair, right is right. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah. So like the song, it's interesting. The song doesn't resonate with me because I'm a dude. Like I don't know.
This doesn't resonate with me as a 40-year-old woman. This resonates with me because I'm looking at them as being young kids, speaking a message to other young kids. Like, don't end your life over this. Like, band together, that sort of thing. Because she said, like, it was also those who hurt me were not only somebody else, but also those who pretended not to notice. And I think that that's a really important line because you're not that type of person. If you notice something, you're going to say something, you're going to do something. But the people or the culture that I came up in, people aren't necessarily going to say something. They'll be like, they will say something behind your back. And they might not like hang around with you anymore, but to like say something in the situation and be like, hey, like that's not, I mean, you saw it. You saw it with like Maine culture, or at least the culture that I was a part of in Maine, where people don't necessarily stand up for, I mean, that woman called you for God's sake instead of calling her own husband.
Dudes,
you know what I'm saying? And he's a military person. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Maine. Shout out to Maine. The dudes over there. That's why my homeboy was like, I said it was heartwarming the way like you shout out to the homie.
Came riding in on your steed.
Yeah, you little bitch. I said, hey boy, hey. Oh man.
Anyway, are you coming back on camera?
Yeah, I'm just trying not to laugh at dudes. Sorry. Confrontation mandatory. Caught that boy straight face to face. Should have seen how fast he changed his story. Y'all some hoes, I swear to sorry. Want to hear a scary story? Last motherfucker that played with sorry didn't get a chance to say he's sorry.
When did you write that one?
I was freestyling this shit. All right. All right, here we go. I'm going to give this one a 9.5. Shout out to Baby Mello. Stop bullying people.
Yeah, 9.3.
Stop bullying people. Look at you being all husbandy and shit. Stevie, good for you, boy. Good for you.
Not the Stevie in the chat.
Just don't let me see you, though. Okay. All right, one more. We got a commercial break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Oh, bitch ass thing. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at VinAndSori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VinAndSori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Ciao, Charlitum.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Give me that timestamp.
Monochrome. Monochrome is the final song from, the name of the band is Baby Metal.
That's it. You know what it is. The name of the DJ of this song is DJ Mike, and DJ Mike says, "My comments, no comments. The song will speak for me." Wearing sunglasses. Chillin'.
That's my boy, DJ Mike in this bitch.
All right, let's check it out. Let's see what it says.
DJ Mike in this bitch. All right, DJ Mike.
It says.
Here we are. Here we are. Baby Metal. What's the name of the song again?
Monochrome.
Monochrome, and you got the lyrics, right?
I sent them all to you.
Monochrome, Baby Metal, all you beautiful people on Rumble, all you beautiful people on Twitter, gang, gang, gang. Hey, listen, if you are a Baby Metal fan, you will see that we've never done it on the YouTube side, but we are available to do Baby Metal on the Twitter and Rumble side, and so that's something you want to think about, and that's one of the reasons why we're trying to build up that Rumble channel, because if we could do that more and more and more, we're going to have access to literally any song, any movie, any show we want to see. By the way, speaking of movies, we're going to be doing a movie.
Midnight Mass, you guys, is on its way. That is going to be...
That's a series, actually.
It's a horror series. I literally have been thinking about it every fucking day.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous for it.
I'm pretty sure...
You know what? This is only going to make it worse because the hype is like every day building inside of me, literally.
I know. I
So amazing. Moamero, Momomero, can you see? Sing it.
A little bit, so that way there's not like the divided lines.
Oh.
So it would just look like a sea of
You
lights.
just want a glob of lights, yeah.
No, I'd want them just spread out to look like a whole universe. That was crazy. Did you see her eyes?
Yeah.
When it was all lit up?
Yeah.
That was so cute.
I mean, I'm sure they see that every night, but I'm sure that part never gets old, you know?
Yeah. So beautiful.
That part must be crazy.
Yeah. So it's a very positive song.
What about it?
Well, I just read something that I was like, wait, hold on a second.
What?
Okay, so the sky decorated in a spectrum of dreams. I wanted to look at it forever. Even the bright star that was shining yesterday. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say is fading away. What's monochrome mean?
Like a singular color?
The monochrome firework. What color can we imagine the night sky? Okay, literally what I thought the song was about was like positivity, looking for the good in stuff and finding ways to smile. And
yeah,
like instead of having like a singular light or singular color, like illuminating the world in like colors.
Well, she said at the end, like, this world's a dark place, so, you know, shine your light and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it is, man.
Yep.
It like, it's interesting to me, like, I was having a conversation with a person, and I thought to myself, I'd have never been this honest with this person. Like, even 6 months ago, I wouldn't be this honest with this person about, like, how I felt about them and all the rest of it. But now, now I'm like, rah!
Yeah.
If I tell you to leave me alone, you don't leave me the fuck alone, I'm putting 50 in you, boy. Simple. But it's interesting because, like, as I'm having that conversation, I'm like, bro, you're super dark right now. Like, I could stand outside of myself and be like, yo, you're really, really dark right now. And I'm like, yup, and I don't give a fuck. So I said whatever I had to say, whap! And then, there's a bunch of that, nonsense happening. So, like, it's important to, like, recognize, like, your own darkness. And, like, I talk to me all the time, and I'm like, man, like, I understand why you're doing what you're doing or whatever. I love you unconditionally. But, I mean, at some point, man, you gotta let the shit go. But right now, like, I'm not in that time at all. Now I'm like, I feel a certain way, and I'm gonna give people opportunities to, like, get out of my way. But if they don't, I'm gonna take out all my issues on them for sure. But see, I know that about myself. Like, I know I'm gonna say that to either one of those two people yesterday, today, whenever it was, if certain things didn't happen, but they happened. So it's a dark world. So if you got any sort of light, it's important to shine it, because there's people like me around. See what I'm saying? It's true. So, like, the message of the song I thought was really, really good, because he talked about being drenched by the rain and freezing in the night.
Yeah.
And later she talks about the rainbow,
Yeah.
which is really interesting. She also talked about Ragnarok, which is, shout out to all my my Norse pagan friends out there. You guys made it all the way to Japan, damn it. But yeah, like, that's really crazy to me. Like, she brought up Ragnarok, and then she talked about, like, the rainbow and all this, which, happy Pride Month, by the way. Miss Rachel, shout out to Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel has, like, been she's got like 5 million subs, some shit like that. She's always singing to kids in her little blue overalls or whatnot. And she had the audacity to wish LGBT people a happy Pride Month. And now Matt Walsh is on a jihad to get rid of her.
That's why? I thought it was because she wanted Dylan Mulvaney to join her in one of her children's sing-alongs.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Pride Month, right?
Yeah.
So she was gonna, she said something to Dylan Mulvaney. I don't know what it was, but I mean, but again, I don't care if there's one episode with Dylan Mulvaney, we're gonna ignore all the other shit this woman did because she had Dylan Mulvaney on. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I actually saw, probably like a year ago, I saw a video of her with somebody that definitely looked like that they were part of the, I would say probably trans community. I'm not really sure. On her show, like, singing to kids and stuff. And because of everything that I know about the community and how, yeah, I understand that not everybody's like that, but there are lots of people there that are actually, in fact, going after children. So in that situation, I just felt uncomfortable because I
Wait,
don't...
what? Say that again?
Say which part again?
Who's going after kids?
Well, when you start breaking down the trans community, I said they're not all doing it, but there absolutely are people that are, stripping themselves down in front of kids and, not canceling shows because kids can't go, stuff like that. Like, that's weird. So in situations like that, I feel uncomfortable because I don't know what the people's intentions are. So that's why it kind of, like, stuck out to me, was because I'm like, what, are you trying to normalize something for kids here? Like, what's actually going on? My kids were too young to be like, what's going on here, because it was hard to tell what the, which gender the person was. So what kind of was weird to me was that already happened and nobody said anything. There was no outrage. But when it was all of a sudden going to be Dylan, now she's getting canceled and all that. You see what I'm saying?
What happened before that should have generated the outrage?
I'm not saying that it should have generated the outrage, but I'm saying there was already somebody from that community on the show with her. And there was nothing, I never heard anything about it. But now it's Dylan. So now there's an outrage and now she's getting canceled and stuff. So it's like, we kind of saw, like, what happened with Dylan Mulvaney going on the Budweiser commercial. And I think that, like, I don't agree with, a lot of what Dylan is doing. But at the same time, it's like, the way that situation was handled and how Dylan was treated, I don't think was good. And that happened twice. It also happened, I think, with the Nike stuff or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, here comes Dylan again in this situation where, because he's involved in something, people are reacting massively. What I'm saying is she already had somebody on the show that seemed like they were part of that community, and nobody said anything or nothing was done. Everything just kind of moved forward. But now it's going to be Dylan. Now she's getting canceled. It's going all over the place.
Well,
people are outraged.
Well, I've never seen her come out and support LGBT people explicitly. Like, even with the person you're talking about, you're saying, like, I think it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, so she wasn't coming out and saying, hey, this is a person from the community. Like, there was still some, you still had to put some pieces together by yourself.
Not really. I mean, the person, you couldn't tell if they were, which gender was going on. Like, it
right,
was.
that's my point. That's my point. My point is, we there's no discussion about Dylan. We know what Dylan is. Whereas this person, you're saying, well, it wasn't official. She's kind of androgynous, blah, blah, blah. For me, it's evangelicals are just crazy, man. Like, I just think that they're Dylan Mulvaney can annoy you, but this woman has done, like I said, she's got millions of subs. She has brought happiness to literally millions of children, and because she explicitly states support for a marginalized group of people, and because, like, I just can't. We got kids getting blasted to smither fucking brains in Israel or Gaza.
Oh my God.
But this is what Matt Walsh wants to have a jihad about.
Oh,
you don't want to have a jihad about. You don't want to do a complete boycott of the country that's behind killing all those Gazan children. But now you want to mobilize Christians against Dylan Mulvaney, who has harmed no one, who has killed no one. And saying Happy Pride Month to a group of people who just 4, 5, 6 months ago in midterm elections were front and centered in America as the cause of every horrible thing on the planet. Like that's what happened in the last election that we had. It was that trans people were, giant boogeymen. And look, if you watch Middle America and the shit I say, relative to the trans discussion, like, a lot of you guys will call me transphobic, but to me, it's just anytime, like, Christians get together and do some sort of boycott, it's always on some fuck shit, man. It's, like, never something I can, like, be proud of and get behind. Like I said, this woman, there's been hella kids, man, that have been blessed by this woman. Hella parents that have been blessed by this woman. And, like, all of the good that she's done gets subsumed. We don't even know what Dylan is going to do when he shows up. He might just, and I get it, like, oh, he's confusing the kids. It's like, well, I mean, I'm a parent, man. Like, my kids aren't confused about none of this shit. So, to me, it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I just think it's crazy to me that, to me, like, this represents a lot of darkness in American evangelicalism. It's really fucking dark, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. And just to be clear, I looked it up. It looks like March 2nd, 2023. There was some backlash over the use of the pronoun use because the person was identifying as they on her show. And I never heard about that. I don't know how big that got. I never heard anything about it. I heard about the Dylan side of it. But I hear what you're saying as far as, like, this. There's a difference between, in my opinion, there's a difference between somebody coming on, like you said, our kids are not going to get confused by somebody coming on and calling themselves they, because we're the ones having the majority of the conversations with them. So our kids are going to have a different understanding.
Which doesn't make us special. It just makes us run-of-the-mill parents.
But
you're just supposed to have those discussions with your kids as a run-of-the-mill parent. There's nothing really virtuous about that.
There's been groups of people that have, they're like I said previously, where they'll cancel shows because kids can't be there, or they're stripping down in front of kids, having kids put money into their barely know whatever they're wearing. This is not that. Like, this person that is identifying as they is on the show.
Beyonce, would there be a backlash from Matt Walsh if Beyonce was on the show, or if Rihanna was on the show? Rihanna's done Sesame Street. She shakes her ass all types of shit. Walks around half naked all the fucking time.
I don't think that should be on there. But what I'm saying is this person wasn't
What do you
doing
mean it shouldn't
that.
be on there? She wasn't doing any of that shit when she was with those kids on Sesame Street. So
You said she was up there. You're saying she shakes her ass somewhere else.
There's Rihanna. What do you mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, she's half naked all the time.
Uh-huh.
So, like, she was on Sesame Street. There's no outcry over that. Nobody says, well, she shakes her ass on TV. Well, yeah, but she's not doing it right now. Dylan Mulvaney hasn't even done any of that shit. To me, like, if I was advising her, I would say, don't mention Dylan until he's going to be on the show. Because this dude, he's a light. For some reason, that kid, man, he's never going to get a break from these folks. Like, they want to push this kid to jump off a bridge, I'm certain.
Jeez.
Like, the way that they treated the whole Bud Light thing, like,
yeah.
The whole thing, man, I'm like, yo, this is some dark shit. The Kid Rock's going out there shooting the thing. That's dark as fuck, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I got a hard time with all the shit that's going on in the world right now. And this woman is trying to put some positivity out in the air. And now evangelicals are said we're supposed to try to ruin this woman who's done so much good. The only silver lining I have is that I'm like, there's no way they're going to be able to do this shit.
But
I hate being on the team sometimes, man. I really can't stand being on the team. Like, this shit is fucking.
My thing is, like, if they're trying, like I said, like there are groups of people that are doing all this nasty stuff in front of kids. That's not what's happening on the show. Like, the person that's identifying as they was, doing puppets and music and stuff like that with the kids.
Doing
and it's
regular
like,
kid shit. I'm looking at it right
doing
now.
like positive things with these kids, and like, I guess, like, sometimes I feel like that people just want to hold the knife to somebody's throat and like make them be something else. Like, what wrong is this person doing? No, I don't think that adults should talk to children about their sex lives. That's not what was happening. Like,
it's not going down on Miss Rachel's show.
Right.
You've seen Miss Rachel.
She's doing alphabet. She's doing puppets. They're doing songs. They're singing, and
songs for littles.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah. And,
But how did we get there from this positive song about
we're talking about dark. We're talking about dark and putting your light up there for everybody to see.
Mhm.
Because, when you're in monochrome, everything is kind of gray. And so, like, this is a person trying to shine a light, and now you've got Christians that are going after her.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, that's what it's about. It's about, like...
I hear you, though. Matt Walsh is going after that when there's friggin' kids. I literally just saw that picture today.
Yeah.
Of that child. Holy shit.
Yeah,
and
these
we're
kids in
concerned
Gaza are
about
getting their heads split open every 2 seconds. And he's not saying a fucking word about that.
He's not?
No, he ain't saying nothing about that. No, we know why he's not saying nothing about it, because there is not a group of people who have inordinate influence in Hollywood in our country. But
Who was on that project, What a Woman Wants of Him? Was there any people...
What is a woman?
Yeah. What does a woman want? That's that Mel
What about
Gibson
it?
show. That Mel Gibson movie. Well, I mean, in other words... that he's trying to appease?
Well, no, like, obviously it was funded by Shapiro in that whole What is a Woman thing.
Okay, so they're not going to want him speaking out against what Israel is doing to the Palestinian children.
No, we saw what happened when somebody spoke out against Israel in Daily Wire. He fired him.
Yeah.
That was Candace. So the rest of them bitches, they just kept their mouths shut. And y'all some hoes. For real. Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles, you are the godfather to Candace Owens' children, and you couldn't stand up and defend her? You are a fucking coward, bro. Honestly.
Jeez.
Like, so... this woman is showing more integrity than Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles put together. She's putting her head up for these people. She's saying Happy Pride Month. I'm going to go put Happy Pride Month on one of my other whatever and see how these people react. What am I supposed to say? Have a miserable Pride Month? I'm just so over this shit, man. Like, we've got a war going on. We got kids getting massacred every fucking day. We got aid workers getting bombed to smithereens. We got all this shit going on. Here's this woman. She's got 5 million subs. she knows that all intents and purposes, there's got to be some gay couples, there's going to be some trans couples and shit that, you know, what about those kids?
Mm-hmm.
They're already being influenced by their trans and gay parents, right? So that's out. So what about them? Do they get a spot in the Miss, you know, whatever thing? Do their family structures get recognized?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I noticed that there's a lot of like kids shows that like the, you know, Baby Shark, no, is Cocomelon, where it's a family system that's like extremely structured. There's a mom, there's a dad, there's no tragedy. There's just like, you know, potty problems and kitchen problems and different stuff like that. And I'm like, well, this is all well and good for kids that have like that family system. You know, like our kids they have both their parents there, but not every kid does. And like, it's like sad to think that like some kids watch that show and they see the mommy figure and they don't have a mommy figure. Like I had gone to an event, and there was these 3 little girls, and I was there with my 3 little ones, and you know, I come over here, don't go there, yeah, run down that hall, come back, you know, all that's going on, and these little girls just kept watching me, and then one of them said, I think she said a mommy is what she said, and then she just hugged me, and then the other one was looking at me too, and then she came over and she hugged me, and like, I mean, I was like standing, I mean, I'm tall, so like they were hugging my knees, you know, and I was like, I looked at the woman that was with them because I'm like, you know, like, you don't know in this day and age what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, there's got to be something going on. So my, you know, the woman looked too old to be their mother, and she looked like a little bit like didn't really know what to do with the situation, and I was like, okay, this probably isn't their mom. And then I was like thinking, I literally thought of the show, and I was like wondering if like these kids don't have a mom in the picture, and there's, you know, the shows, they're seeing moms and stuff like that, and then they see me being a mother to my kids, and they're like, oh, a mom, like,
right.
So I don't know, it's just so, but I bring that up to say, like, you know, we had in the neighborhood we lived in previously, the couple that was there, that was a lesbian couple, and you know, they felt that they had a very good family system and that things were going well. They took the kids, they were, you know, feeding the kids, taking them places and stuff. But that little girl, every time you would come around and she would see you, she would just like her eyes would look sad, and she would just watch you, and then she would say, is that your dad? To the kids, that your dad? I felt sad for her. I'm like, the mom's probably, she's not going to tell her mothers that, you know, that like, hey, I want a male figure around, but you could tell she did want that.
They all did.
So it's like, you know, like these kids, that's why I don't agree with the lifestyle, but at the same time, like, these kids have to have something that they can relate to. It's important for them to be able to have something that they can relate to.
Shout out to Matt Walsh. It's a 9.5 for me.
Yeah, jeez,
I really like the song.
9.6 for me.
Really like the song. Shout out to Baby Metal.
Baby Metal
Shout
Stream.
out to Mike Franco. Shout out to Metlcat.
Metlcat.
We did not have this on the books, y'all.
Well, this one was for tomorrow.
This is for tomorrow.
But you know, Franco, right? You know what? There's certain DJs that they've been with us long enough that all of a sudden boop, they get into a different category. And Franco is one of those people. You know, Revo's another one that Revo will be like, I need a Saturday. And we're like, nah, fuck it, we'll open up a Saturday. So Franco has the cachet, and he was able to make this happen tonight for you guys and for us.
Yeah.
So shout out to Franco. Shout out to Metlcat for bringing this on. And yeah, we'll be preparing ourselves for the up and coming show series. No, it's not Poltergeist.
What is it?
If it was Poltergeist, I'd probably be a little bit less scared because it's just one movie.
What's it called?
It's Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass? It's a horror and it has to do with religious stuff? This is going to be friggin'... Okay, but the good thing is, he doesn't like horror either. So at least we're both in the same place.
I don't like gore. I'm good with horror. I just don't like gore.
Okay, we watched Spoiler. We watched Hereditary, and that is still fucking with me. I cannot believe that the child got decapitated in that. I cannot believe it. That has not left me. I wish I never saw that part. I didn't even see anything, actually. I'm pretty sure I turned away, but I heard it. I didn't.
You didn't. Because the way they did it, it was so like completely unexpected. There was no build up. There was no tension in the music. There was no nothing.
Oh my gosh.
So you
Okay, well that's why I have
looked
such a
away later. But
that's
it was
why I
too
have
late
such
at
a
that
clear
point.
visual of it. I was like, my imagination's going nuts. But okay. Anyway, so be there because I need the support.
Yeah, she needs the moral.
I need
She
the
needs the moral.
support of you
She
guys.
needs the immoral support.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys, 6/8 at 3 p.m. Be there or be square. Be there for support for me, for Vinny. We'll watch it together. Thanks for coming through, you guys.
Be prepared. Like
oh
he
my
says.
gosh.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.